All right, and we are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content Twitch stream. We're super excited tonight to be going to the dying planet Gordinaak with the creator Jeremy, and I'm going to say your last name, having never said it before, Childrey.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
man. There we go. So
You
my
got
name's
it.
Tony Vicinda. I am the chief alchemist at Plus One. We're a brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. We stream on a regular basis. We also do short reviews over on our YouTube channel of the different games we play. We absolutely love to focus on independent tabletop designers. A couple weeks ago, I was just asking, like, who are some designers out there who basically just aren't white dudes, and Jeremy was like, hey, I'm a dude, but I'm not white. And I was like, that's awesome, what's your game? And he sent me over this module he had made that is it feels like more than just a setting module. I think saying setting module is a little bit put it down. It really feels like a minor hack of the game Mothership. So it's built on that core piece, but the really, if you had the last page of the Mothership book that tells you how to do rolls, his book basically will walk you through pretty much everything else you need, from character creation for 5 unique races, 4 unique classes that feel very similar to but are different than the classes in Mothership. I think it's going to be a phenomenal time, and we're probably going to go crazy and die. If you want to help us out and help get people to know about Jeremy's game, which is coming to Kickstarter soon, go ahead and tweet this out, share this out, ttrpg.link/Gordinaak, or just, copy paste up above. Put it out, let people know you're watching. The most people we've ever had on stream is 20. He's trying to break that. Let's see if we can do it. But Jeremy, how's it going tonight, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. I'm pretty excited. It's been a while since I got to run Gordinaak for people who have never played it or who I don't know, strangers, right? Uh, and I did a little bit of extra beard care tonight
Yeah, I'm
to
glad.
because I know you do the balms and and
That's
the
true. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the beard RPG. So
It's, we have a very established aesthetic and brand. Every once in a while we'll get a stream where everybody has a beard, but usually we've got a number of people who don't. We're going to go ahead and have everybody kind of introduce themselves, but Jeremy, if people want to find you online, what's the best place for them to find you?
I am on Facebook at Gordinaak Games, and I think just about everywhere else. Itch.io / Gordinaak or Gordinaak Games, one or the other. Try both. I also, you can see some of my work in Dissonant Whispers. I did the layout on Ramadi Springs and Hopebringer. Also, I have a pamphlet module coming out this year from Tuesday Night Games called Stardust Sands. Um, oh, and I wrote the dumbest thing ever on my itch called "Why Is There a Wizard Tower in This
That's
Dump?"
good. Yeah.
Or why I don't even think I got the name right, but yeah. So you can find me in all of those places and my home in Florida.
Awesome. We're looking forward to playing Gordinaak tonight and getting to probably die. We're just going to keep on going across. I know he's still working on getting his character pulled together. We're going to hop over to Steven. Steven, tell the beautiful people who you are, where you're from, and where they can find you on the internet.
Yeah, of course. My name's Stephen Rosia. I am from Okotoks, Alberta, way up here in the cold north in Canada. I regularly stream D&D. I write and illustrate comic books, as well as tell stories and all that sort of stuff. Typically, you can find me on Twitter at Stephen Rosia. Additionally, streaming online at the Hive Stream on YouTube, and that's Hive Stream 1 on Twitch as well. We stream on Fridays, video games, and then every second Monday we have an ongoing Pokemon D&D game.
Awesome. I love that. Are you you also called shot, like in our little community of streamers, we like basically let people say, if there's only one game on this schedule that you really want to play, tell me what it is and I'll try to get you on that one. You really were excited to play Mothership. Is this your first time?
Yeah, I I read it a little while ago, and it was something that really jumped off the page. Like, I'm a big Alien fan, right? Like the Xenos and Geiger and all that. And this spoke to that immediately. There was a few other modules that I had seen. I hadn't actually heard of this one specifically. So this was something that really excited me.
Awesome. Cool. Looking forward to it. Appearing for the second time on the stream, I believe, is Parrish Danforth. Parrish, say hello to everybody. Tell them who you are, where you're from, and where they can find you online.
Awesome. My name is Parrish. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and I'm the designer of Altera, Age of Exploration. It is a lightweight tabletop RPG that I think we're going to be playing in March.
In March, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great gateway if you're trying to introduce RPGs to your family or friends. You can find more about it at explorealtera.com or at explorealtera on most social media.
Awesome. And the only professional, as far as I know, fully professional Dungeons and Dragons GM on the stream. I could be wrong, but I think so. Cowshay, part-time librarian, full-time game master.
That's true. Yeah, I'm Cowshay, he, him. I'm from Seattle, and I work at a high school. Technically, I am a tech support guy, but I have also accidentally taken over the school librarian position in this weird year where everything is upside down. And I do also get paid to run the school's D&D club, so I am indeed a professional GM. I'm only okay at it.
living the dream. So, and I also this, like, as a professional GM, having access to the school's library budget, like, that's got to be a dream, right? Like, that school's RPG collection is expanding rapidly.
Yeah, the library has definitely picked up a lot of RPG related books because that section was lacking, and as a librarian, I just want to make sure we have the best resources available for our students / myself.
Like, why is our library backing all of these Kickstarters all of a sudden? Like, it's a very weird thing. All right, it's fine. They're all just for like $10. It's okay. That's awesome. I'm excited to have you on. It's your first time on the stream. Also, you and Steven. We always try to play with the designer, either of the module we're using or the system. We're either finishing up our characters or have already created our characters for this. We also just walked through creating our mech for the first time. Parrish is, so far as I know, the only one who can pilot the mech, his character. I don't know if anybody else is taking mech piloting also, but it's a skill. If you don't have it, you have it. But that is unique to Gordinaak. Like, mechs don't play, like giant walker mechs don't play a big role in Mothership Prime. So, Jeremy, tell us a little bit about that and about kind of where that came from. Because this system started developing outside of that originally, right? Outside of Mothership.
Yeah. So, I've been working on Gordinaak for like 3 years. It started off as an ultramodern 5e setting. And it just really wasn't like, and it was just for my like home and stuff like that. And it really wasn't like hitting the spots that I wanted it to. So then I made a hack of Lamentations of the Flame Princess, and that also really wasn't cutting it. But I had already commissioned a bunch of art and stuff like that. And then Mothership came out, and I started checking that out, and almost immediately after reading the Mothership player's guide, I emailed Sean and was like, hey, can I use this for my own thing as well, please? And he never got back to me on it, even though we talk all the time. And if you're out there, Sean,
you're dead to me.
I'm kidding, but yeah. So I wanted the mech creation to emulate the ship creation from the player's survival guide, but I didn't. That's pretty in depth. I wanted this to be a little bit lighter than that, so I just made it kind of based on that, but a little bit lighter than the mech creation. And this has been available on the Mothership Discord for a while now. People, you can use this. You can use these mech rules straight up with Mothership vanilla, if you want to call it that.
What flavor is Gordinaak? That's the real question. If
Gasoline.
Gasoline flavored. The Bureau. Sorry, somebody's looking for their keys to get in their house, and I do know where they are. That's awesome. No, I'm excited to play and do it now. Parrish, tell us a little bit about our mech, just in broad terms. I know you named it, picked some skills and some weapons for it, and kind of split up some stats. But give us the 30,000 foot view of our 40-foot mech.
Casper
what's it look like? It's probably like 20 foot because it's a mid-size.
Okay,
so.
our 20-foot mech. I was trying for the big.
You guys,
the big dog.
yeah, already getting ahead of yourself. I'll give you an inch.
That's right. So Parrish, go ahead, tell us.
Casper is a mid-size mech with a good size engine. So she's speedy. She's got cloaking, and she's armed with quad XR2 missiles. So she'll make short work of another mech, and hopefully get out of there without a scratch on her.
Awesome.
So, did you want to roll a distinctive feature, and if you do the distinctive feature, I'll give you a free weapon roll as well.
All right.
Nice.
So is it D100 for distinctive feature?
Give me just a second to get to the
By the way,
the mech distinctive feature. I think it's a D10.
Sad Boy said they're going to take a drink for every drink that we drink on stream. So just everybody stay well lubricated. So
I'm just gonna start chugging LaCroix.
Yeah,
over
give me a D10 roll for the distinctive feature of your mech.
All right, here we go. Oh, it's a 2.
A 2. It has sponsored ads all over it.
Excellent.
you got that money coming in.
Yeah,
and then the
corporations are
weapon that
implementing?
goes along with it. Give me another D10 roll.
That's a 6.
You get a electrified mech control whips.
Nice.
Mech control whip?
Yeah, I'll put the stats in the chat for us.
Sad Boy, I don't know if you want to buy it out on the stream or buy it out on the mech, but the answer is absolutely yes. You just tell me what you want on there, and we'll make sure it's slapped on the side. Cool. We're gonna get started in just 1 second. I know that Parrish and I have kind of finished our characters. Jeremy, did you want us to just kind of tell people about our characters, or are we going to do an introduction scene? How do you usually handle that?
Well, first we also talked about because the module is not explicit in what clan or what gang you're part of,
that's right.
right? So I was wondering if you guys wanted to do a random name, and what industry you guys are normally into.
Sounds good.
So it's just gonna be a series of D10s. Somebody throw out the first D10.
I got it. 4.
So the first part of your name is the desert. Give me another D10, somebody.
All right, I got this one. 7.
Let's see. So you guys are the Desert Devils.
All right.
And let's see. Give me your defining feature. There's some of these that will have to be excluded. These are normally for making NPC gangs, but I thought it would be interesting to give you guys something to kind of go on.
For those of you just joining us, we're playing Gordinaak. It's a mothership module. I know Craze apparently is confused online. And we were building our mech, and we are about to introduce our characters, but we're also building our clan right now. And what are we? They're the Desert what?
Desert Devils.
The Desert Devils.
You want another D10, you said?
Yep.
That's going to be a 10.
A 10. So we'll have to skip that one because that one would normally be for NPCs that they only use edged weapons, right? But I don't think you guys want to confine yourselves to not being able to shoot stuff. So.
Well, as long as I can shoot katanas at people, I'm okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, there's a couple that. So just give me a reroll, and as long as we don't get a 10, or a 7, or a 5.
8?
What do we
How's
get?
that?
8. Let's see. Yeah, you guys are falconers.
Excellent. Does that mean we each have our own falcon, or do we just have one falcon that we pass around?
You know what?
us?
I almost think that. So, Parrish, you have a drone, right?
I do.
Why can't you should manifest that as like a falcon,
Fantastic.
right? Wouldn't that work out really well?
So we have a robotic falcon.
I like
Oh
it.
yeah, I
Squad
like
mode,
this. What?
right?
Yeah. What if it's a like lightly cyborg Falcon, like that we like? You know, it
I'm
still
I'm
has some
in.
like equipment hooked into it or something. You know, like a
I'm in.
robotic eye that we're able to see through or something like that.
I'm
Awesome.
in.
I love it.
And then one more D10 for the industry that you guys are. And by the way, if anybody's listening to music, I'm listening to some synthwave. That's normally kind of the vibe that I go for with whenever I'm vibing to.
There's so
That's
much
awesome.
cool like dungeon and tabletop inspired synth coming out right now. Like I just hopped in the dungeon synth group on Facebook. I'm looking forward to spending way too much money on Bandcamp over the next little bit.
Yeah, I have something like 66 albums on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so let's see. You guys are Falconers, and then what was this last D10 roll?
A 4.
A 4? Oh, perfect. It actually fits in perfectly. So the adventure is you guys are. Whenever I'm explaining the adventure, it'll come into play. I have a little blurb that I like to read before the Gordinaak games, and then as I've got that scene set up for you guys, then you can introduce your characters and we'll give me their names and what they look like and stuff like that.
Cool.
So are we ready? Is everybody?
Steven is still furiously writing. Do you got the broad strokes, Steven?
Oh, no.
I absolutely do. Yeah.
Okay, cool. You're
Sorry,
just,
what
you're
was
just still
the-
doing
what was
math.
the before?
I'm sorry.
Did you tell us what we got out of the 4?
It's an adventure related component, right?
Oh, so we
Yeah,
don't get to
yeah.
find out yet.
Yeah,
He'll
you'll
tell
know.
us in a minute.
You'll know what it is whenever it actually goes literally with the adventure that's happening. So
Oh, you'll know. So
yeah, so it happened to work out.
awesome. All right. Yeah, I think we're all ready. By the way, everybody, we're playing Gordinaak. It's a mothership module with Jeremy. This is going live on Kickstarter as part of Zine Quest. Most of our streams, which we have a lot of coming up over the next week, more than my wife would like, that are going to be zines that are coming up in Zine Quest. I'm super excited to play this one. Mothership is one of my favorite systems, and what Jeremy has done to create a gasoline flavored setting, as he called it earlier. I'm super excited to play. As I was reading through it, it felt like if Mothership had taken some of the faction elements of Blades in the Dark and just kicked that into a dying planet rather than an entire spacefaring ecosystem, and I'm super excited for us to be able to get to play through it and probably die. But let people know, we're having around 13 viewers right now. 20 is the highest we've ever had on stream. Jeremy wants to bust it. I want to bust it for him. Let's make it happen.
We got to. We have to. All right, guys. So
I'll drop a link to follow his Kickstarter in a second. But if you want to share this, it's ttrpg.link/Gordinaak, or just copy and paste from above into whatever social media platform. But Jeremy, go ahead and take us away.
6. So Gordinaak lives beneath your feet as we speak. He is your home, but he brings you no solace. You are not welcome here unless you are Deseti, but that's a story for a different time. Gordinaak has been consuming the land for thousands of years, leaving only the 1,000-mile desert. Our adventure tonight takes place on this continent, and more importantly, on the outskirts of Oaza, a city stretching beyond what the eye can see. You, like many others, are members of a clan. Your clan has not yet accumulated enough status to operate inside the city, so your compound lies on the edge of the desert. A few years ago, an ancient machine of war was discovered in the desert, and with it, the miracle fuel Psycho-C. The technology has been adapted, and for the right price, you can own your very own killing machine. And more specifically, your clan has been transporting Psycho-C for the Messina clan from their Psycho-C fields deep in the 1,000-mile desert. The past 2 convoys have not returned. Your clan is taking the blame. You are en route with another tanker, a trailer, and a trailer with a mid-sized MADS or mech, right? So you have you guys have a couple NPCs with you. Old Bill's driving the tanker. Tamil is driving the trailer with the mech. Corinth is Corinth and Kalip are up in the truck with Old Bill. So I imagine you guys are probably in the one with the mech, right? With
With
who did we
Casper.
already say? With
Casper.
yeah, I think Tamil or whatever. So he's a Sateri. He's driving, right? So you can imagine his seat is probably he's probably got two arms, two hands on the wheel, driving, one arm out, and then the other probably propped up on the side of the seat. So yeah, describe to me what you guys are doing inside of the semi cab as you guys are driving to investigate this missing psycho scene and some of your clan members.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go first. I'm kind of just leaning against the seat. My character has really scraggly red hair, always very unkempt. Usually something stuck in there. Goggles, of course. Really bad pocked face, sort of acne. You can see him sort of twiddling his fingers a little bit, almost anxiously. It's just a nervous tick, really. And he is currently reading a book. It's this really beat up paperback novel that you've probably seen him have out 100 different times. Probably read it cover to back again a couple dozen times. But it's the only one he's got on him, and he's not sure the next time he's gonna get a chance to pick up another.
What's the title of the book?
It's something really lusty, like
Nice.
She Gets Hot at Midnight or something like that.
Perfect. And what was their name and class and species?
Yeah, so my character's name is Marin Youssef. That's Useff. And it's a human and a fixer.
Nice. All right. Whoever wants to go next.
Let's just go straight down to Parrish.
Ori is a Satari fixer, and so he's also rolling with four hands, and two of them are absent-mindedly shuffling a deck of cards, while the other two are focused on reassembling a pair of night vision binoculars. He's always got to have something in his hands, and with four of them, he's got to be focused on something and not idle with the other two. So he loves to take things apart. He was, as a Satari, pushed out of his family at a young age and grew up as a scrapper. Then started working as a mechanic and learned techniques, and now does computer programming and has a falcon-shaped drone named Vala, and he can drive and pilot and VR pilot a drone, and if it has to do with getting into a robotic or mechanics, then he's all about it.
Sick. So real quick, what was the Falcon's name again?
Vala.
Vala, and so it was Ori the Sateri fixer, right? With the Falcon named Vala. Real quick, I was curious though, what's the name of the mech?
Casper.
Casper. Nice. And what is Parrish and Casper sponsored for? Like, because it's covered in, like, is it like mech fighting or something like that, or like?
Is there mech fighting leagues?
I mean, it's not explicitly in the rules or anything like that, but I imagine that if you had giant robots and a lot of people had them, you'd probably make them fight, right?
Sure. So, yeah, their Mech Fighting League sponsorship
Somebody in the
is,
chat is suggesting a grocery delivery company.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's got like Uber. It's got
delivery company. Being that it's super fast, it makes sense that we would get your groceries delivered while they're still cold.
sick.
We don't really deliver groceries in the Mech, but in the commercials, people
In the
love to.
commercials. Yeah,
It's
that's
what they
I was about to
expect,
say.
right? Yeah, like
It's in the commercials.
we'll cut over to Cal. Cal, go ahead and tell us about your character.
Yeah, my character, I think, is kind of twitchy as she's sitting, just sort of observing everything that's going on. I am playing a Saiki, which is the very small race, and I think she's even smaller than most. She's pretty small. She's kind of up in years. I think especially in this post-apocalyptic universe, like she's noticeably old when a lot of people don't make it to even kind of old. And yeah, her name is Praxil, Praxil, and her whole vibe is that she's kind of like a prospector vibe. She was by herself. The Saiki are typically very, they keep to themselves. They have sort of a connection to these Mancer powers and frequently keep to themselves. And Praxil lived out in the desert for most of her life. We'll talk about her powers specifically, but her powers enabled her to just sort of live by herself and forage and literally prospect for valuable items. But I think semi-recently, she had some sort of upsetting interaction with Gordinaak that maybe lightly drove her insane, and also made her reconsider her life choices and made her want to be with other people. And so she's sort of like taken solace in being with other people and actively trying to be a friendly person who has friends that like her rather than just a lonely old woman who is probably going to die out in the desert in some upsetting circumstance. So
Awesome. Awesome. Tony, I think that leaves you, right?
Yeah. So as you look around the trailer, you don't actually see Striv, and so I think we actually cut out to the outside of the trailer. We're magnetically bolted to the top. There's a lawn chair type contraption that could be like recessed down, and we see Striv sitting up there. Striv is a Desetti, which is like think lizard person. And so this launcher has been specially modified to have an easy spot for Striv's tail to go down into the back side of it, and they're drinking out of an enclosed canteen that has like a straw that goes up into a full face mask with goggles and other things. But other than that, they look like they would be on a beach. If it's possible for anyone on Gordinaak to look relaxed, Striv does, but obviously he's not. This is actually just how he kind of decompresses on a long trip, and just prefers to be outside and not contained inside the trailer whenever possible.
So, as you guys are en route to the Messina clan's Psychocene fields, it's about a day and a half to get there and a day and a half to get back. So generally, like a 3-day trip. Right, your clan members have been over a week and a half, right? And again, you guys are being blamed for by the clan that you're working for the undelivered Psychocene. As you guys are driving, or as you guys are driving down this road, you see like a big dust cloud behind you, and you recognize these dirt bikes as Thousand Shadows gang dirt bikes, right? They come and kind of surround you guys. And they're much faster dirt bikes than your semi, right? And you can tell that they're really like sizing you guys up, right? Like there's like one that has a person on the back of it, right? Like looking up and down the trailer, and like they get a good look at you, and then they take off and head on down the road, right, leaving you guys kind of in a cloud of dust. The only thing that's between here and the Psycho Scene Fields is Sand Springs. It's kind of like one of the very few like outposts outside of the main city Oaza. Not long after the Thousand Shadows gang passes you guys, you see the tire of the tanker that's in front of you, your guys' other vehicle. You see it pop, right? It just explodes, right? And they just slowly pull over to the side. Old Bill, or not Old Bill. You guys have Tom Hill. Tom Hill, he also he does the same thing, follows suit, and pulls over. Right, you see Old Bill get out of the truck in front of you guys, and you can see that there's also like smoke coming out of the hood, right? So, what do you guys do?
What happened?
I think
Are you all over to Old Bill?
I'm not quite sure what happened, but it seems maybe like this tire was a little worn out. I thought I checked him. I could have swore I checked him before we left. I could have swore I checked everything. And he pushes back these really big Coke bottle glasses. Like you probably know him pretty well. He's prone to mistakes, right? So
I think Praxel, one of her skills is survival, because she is so her modus operandi was setting traps for people like this, and so I think she is immediately sort of suspicious that maybe it got shot out, maybe there's something in the road deliberately. So I'm gonna kind of hop out and keep my distance from the vans and kind of keep an eye out, sort of on the landscape around us.
Sick. So you get out of the car or out of the truck, right? And you're keeping an eye out on the landscape around you. It sounded kind of weary of the Thousand Shadows, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
And almost as if they snuck up on you, or that just a moment you could have sworn that they weren't there, but you see this person like kind of half crawling, half walking towards you, and they reach out to you and they water, and they're just completely covered. It's a human male, and he's completely covered in just like dirt and grime and dust from the desert. What are the rest of you guys doing as they were out there? Were anybody checking on the other vehicle or anything like that?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to be suspicious, so I'm going to grab my my assault rifle and have it on my person, but I'm going to be the first to check out the vehicle, starting with a walk around, see if I can identify problem areas, and then I also have my toolkit with me, and so if I can, I'd like to see if we can fix something.
So let's just go ahead and give it a let's put that under one roll, right? So give me an intellect roll with any kind of applicable skills to be able to fix the truck. in a timely manner. Of course, you're a fixer, so you know how to do it. You're going to be able to do it, right? But let's see if you can do it fast and do it efficiently.
Okay, so I'll give you a D100.
Yeah, and you add the skill to the base intellect or the intellect, right? And then you roll under that number.
Well, what skill am I using?
You could I think there's engineering, right?
Okay, well, let's use engineering. I'm an expert in engineering.
Yeah, so you add the engineering, which is, if you're an expert, that's 15. You add that to your intellect, and then you roll under that number.
So that total is 57, which is pretty good, but I rolled a 73.
Ooh.
So you're able to figure it out, but it is really taking a long time. Everybody takes one stress as this is starting to take a long time, but before it even starts to take a long time, right? You're not even really you haven't even really figured it out at this point, right? It's going to take you a couple hours to get this done. We have Praxel kind of having isolated herself from the group, right? Trying to keep an eye out, right? Has stumbled across this person who's completely and you can tell, Praxel, that this person looks like they're gonna die soon if you don't help them.
I think Praxel, when they come lunging out, Praxel's immediate reaction is actually she's startled, and she kind of backs up from this guy, but she quickly sort of comes back to him, and with like a big kind of toothy grin, she's just like, "Well, hi! I didn't expect to see anyone out here right now."
Water.
She says, "Well, yeah, I get that you probably do need some water, but I need to know that you're on the level with me." And then one of her, I forget the terminology, but one of her lighter psychic powers, and the pattern is telepathic communication.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think she's going to attempt to sort of to telepathically tell this guy, if you're up to no good, then I will know it.
You can tell. So like for the pattern telepathic communication, right? They have to be willing, right? And for some reason, this person's not willing to allow you to telepathically communicate with them.
Okay.
But maybe it's because they're really hurt, right?
Yeah.
I'm just scanning the horizon through my sniper scope just to make sure we don't have anybody else who starts coming up on us.
Yeah, and you saw, and you probably saw this interaction happen. You probably zeroed in and are seeing this kind of happen. What about Steven? What is Marin doing?
Yeah, so I figure at this time, after nobody's gone back in the truck, after a little while, Marin's probably going to sigh, fold up the book, put it inside his jacket pocket, jump out of the truck and kind of eyeball between Buddy there looking at the engine and the guy on the ground. I don't figure the engine has any computer parts, so I decide to go over towards the downed individual instead, sort of kneeling over and looking at this guy.
Yeah.
As you approach, I think Praxel turns to you and says, "I found somebody, and they need some water. They don't seem suspicious to me. They seem pretty friendly."
Yeah, I fix my goggles, and Marin says, "Yeah, I feel like that's probably a fair assumption."
Well, you wanna help him get on back to the truck? I don't think I can pick him up by myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna look around. This is a pretty desolate landscape.
Oh yeah, definitely. You guys are on the only road, like for maybe hundreds of miles, right? Like it's like I said, it's like a day's trip to halfway or to 2/3 of the way there, basically.
Okay. do we have actual like water supplies or canteens or that sort of thing?
I mean, I imagine that you would have plenty of that on a day's trip through the desert, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so yeah, I'm not gonna touch this individual, but I think Marin would definitely go back, rummage through the supply a little bit, pull out some sort of disposable container, and bring it over to this person. Not getting too close, but kind of tossing it onto the ground in front of him, and I just say, "Drink."
So he like weekly like tries to go over and grab the water, and then collapses as he fails to be able to get to the water. You guys can tell that this person needs medical attention like immediately.
So if he seems to be, if no one else seems to actually be attending to him medically, I'll give one last kind of scan of the horizon to see if to kind of just check to make sure we're all clear. Then I will slide down off and go over and pull out a little first aid kit and start to attend to his wounds.
Yeah, so give me an intellect roll with any kind of applicable skills, uh, to see if you're able to.
Well, I
if
rolled
you're
a
able to stabilize it.
21, so I do know that this is I have a skill in this, so I succeeded by a bit.
Excellent. So if that's under your intellect and
Yep,
your
it's a success.
and whatever the skill, you're able to get this guy stabilized, right? And you're able to get him drinking the water, right? He's definitely has like a crazy fever, right? And but he's like super injured. Like you see, like there's like all kinds of lacerations. Like this, he definitely needs like further medical attention to be able to survive.
You say laceration, so he's cut up. Is he
Yeah,
in say the way someone might be from being in a fight or from being attacked?
yeah, definitely.
Or from falling through a bunch of cactus.
Yeah,
As
but yeah, he definitely has been through something, but he's pretty incapable of communicating further than water.
I mean, did we give him water yet?
Yeah, Marion gave him
that's
water.
what I was getting down.
He collapsed as he was trying to grab the
I was
water.
pretty sure. So we'll go ahead and pour that water into his mouth, and get him into the shade also too. I don't know that I don't think Striv's inclined to take him into the trailer so much as he is like the walk down from the trailer that is in the shade. We're gonna put him on that, just to kind of get him out of the heat and out of the or less of the heat, I guess. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Marin's just gonna saddle up next to you and kind of shoulder you a little bit and say, "Hey, if a man's not inclined to drink his own water, then maybe he's not gonna survive out here to begin with."
That was kind of my thought. I don't know that I
Yeah,
want to.
you effectively know that if you leave him here, he's going to die.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can just leave him behind. He's obviously been through something. If this is a trap, it's a heck of a trap. I mean,
Hey, people die in the desert every day. Way I see it, not our problem.
it's true. But I mean, it's one thing to not be bothered by people you don't have to see. It's another thing to leave somebody for dead who didn't do you wrong at all.
Nods, agreeing with you, but
And
kind of
you can also see like that he doesn't look like he's affiliated with any kind of like rival gangs or anything like that as well. So
Is he like, what's he wearing? Is he just like tattered rags?
like
or...
nomad gear,
Okay.
right? Like desert people, like people of the desert type clothing.
Does he have a bag at all, or any belongings, or just clothes?
Yeah, just tattered clothing.
Okay. So
Praxel chimes in again and says, I think if they're going to be springing a trap on us, then they wouldn't wait for this long. And, he seems like a nice enough fella who's probably going to die. Might as well sit with him while he dies and we fix up our truck here. I'm going to go see if I can help fix up the truck. He'll probably die soon. I don't know.
So, yeah. what is Ori like as Ori's finishing up the last like bit of the truck? What is that like?
What was wrong with the truck?
It just seemed like the tire was too bald, right? It really just needed to be replaced anyway. You guys had a spare, and it was and old Bill probably was like, this thing is always overheating, and you guys probably had to just put water in the coolant, right? So it wasn't any kind of you didn't kind of glean any kind of sabotage or anything like that from it.
No major mechanical fixes.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well,
Actually, tell me why it took so long, right? To figure those things out. That's what I want to know, actually.
because I was stubbornly sure that there was something wrong with the engine, and so I took a couple parts out, and then it took a good 45 minutes to put them back.
Excellent. So yeah, it seems like the vehicles are fixed, right? Or the vehicle is fixed, and you now have this person who seems to who is definitely going to die within a day or two if they don't receive like some sort of medical attention.
Need some sort of medical attention. Well, seeing my bleeding heart comrades around me, I throw up my hands and I ask for good buddy there's a toolkit, and I say, fine, well, if you guys want to keep a pet, I suppose I could fix him up. And I start pulling up my sleeves. Let's see to those cuts. I do have training in medical.
So on the way to the rest of the way to Sand Springs, right? You're able to get him pretty patched up and pretty stable. Go ahead and give me your medical roll, and we'll see what happens here.
Oh, that is pretty good. So that's only an 11.
I mean, it's
An 11 is a critical success.
So doubles crit, yeah.
Yeah, so doubles are critical. So like you get him like talking and everything like that, and he's like fine. He's like, oh my god, thank you so much for helping me. It killed literally everybody.
What killed everybody?
It was just like a cloud or like a puddle, or I don't know. And then he starts to like fucking convulse, right? And his head gets like thrown back like unnaturally, and he starts to kind of like scream out, right? And you can tell that he's in like excruciating pain, right? His skin is turning like incredibly like red, and you can almost feel this heat irradiating off of him. You look at his shirt, and it's starting to bulge out in different places, right? Underneath of this tattered rags, right? And you hear snap as one black appendage shoots out of his rib cage. You hear another snap as another black appendage shoots out of his rib cage. You hear that another 4 more times as all of these appendages start to flail around the cockpit of this car. One of them hits Tamil in the face, right, bloodying his whole face. He moves to like swerve or do something. None of you are driving, but let's leave it up to some dice to see what happens. You guys are most of the way to Sand Springs at this point, but let's not leave it up to this NPC's driving skills to see whether or not you crash in this moment.
Yeah, can I grab the wheel?
Yeah, so you can try to grab the wheel. I'll allow it at I'll allow a driving roll with your speed at advantage if somebody else is helping or something like that. So just roll 2 dice or roll 2 sets of dice and take the advantage.
That one will probably do it. Yeah, 21, and the speed is trained as 10 or 15.
Trained as 10.
Then speed's 55. So
Sick. So you guys are easily able to take control of the vehicle as Tamil is covering his face with 2 sets of his hands. These appendages are flailing around the cockpit, right?
Can I try? Oh, sorry.
Tamil slams on the brakes, right? You guys are coming to like a major halt, right? Everybody give me a speed roll and we'll get into initiative right now.
Oh.
So if you succeed your speed roll, you go before the enemy. If you fail the speed roll, you go after the enemy.
So,
I succeeded.
Wait, sorry, I roll all 6d10?
No, 2d10.
2d10. Oh.
Ideally,
okay.
if you have a percentile set,
No,
or 2
yeah,
different
D100.
ones.
Yeah, D100.
Oh, gotcha.
Also, guys, there's no 100. It's 00 is the top number. 90 or 99 is the top number. 00 is the bottom low number.
Okay. I got 77.
So that's a crit fail. You're going after, and you lose one of your actions.
Cool.
So so everybody's part of this. So
Yeah, I got a success. 24.
Sick. So you're going before.
35. I succeeded.
40 success.
Sweet. So the 3 of you go ahead and tell me what you do in this moment. Tamil is slammed on the brakes. The truck has come to a halt. There's these appendages flailing around. Tamil is definitely injured.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw up my hands and back away from him as much as I can and go, yeah, I got him up. I got him up and talking, and slowly start to draw my pistol.
Yeah, you can draw and shoot if you want. You have 2 actions, right? And we're in the cockpit of a semi, so there's not a lot of room in here.
Yeah, I'm just kind of pressed against the window as much as I can. I don't want to shoot him because I just resuscitated him, and I feel pretty good about that. And also he's a living sentient thing, and I'm wondering if I can't talk him out of this course of action.
He doesn't seem to be choosing it, but so who else is gonna go before the by the way, this image is basically a spider, right? With the body port
With this guy's body hanging off of a leg.
Oh,
Parrish, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to open a door and physically grapple Parkle. What's her name?
Paxel.
Praxel. I'm going to physically grab Praxel since I'm a pretty large character and she's not. And both try to exit the vehicle.
Cool.
4 hands, so 2 on Praxel and 2 on an assault rifle.
Yeah, so I don't think I don't think there's any reason why that wouldn't be able to happen. You kind of push Tamil out the door as well as you're doing that, getting him kind of out of the way. You still have another action.
Oh.
Shoot.
You're Satyr, you have 4 arms. You get more actions.
Oh, sure. I've combat all over the place. Can I have a readied action?
Yeah, sure. What do you want to do? Like what is the action you want to ready?
I'll shoot it if it comes out the same door.
Okay. All right, Tony.
So I think I'm behind it at this point. Like I'm assuming this is like a deep cab, right, where there's like seating spaces and other like sleeping spaces and other stuff like that. It was in a bed, so I would have probably been towards the back door. I think that's where I typically hang, and so I'm just gonna pull out my katana, and there's not a lot of room to like swing, so I'm just gonna stab straight at this, like run and stab straight at this thing's back.
Yeah, give me a combat roll.
14. So success.
Yeah, deal damage.
19.
All right, sick. You chop off two of the legs, right? There's still 6 more of these legs flailing around the cabin. This guy is screaming out in excruciating pain as he's being manipulated by these weird appendages. And let's see. All right. So it is the thing's turn, right? And I think the appropriate course of action is because you just attacked it. It's gonna get you back. Right?
I'm also pretty much one of the only options right now.
All right. So I got a 3 under 65, so that's a success. It deals 6 damage to you. You also take 1 stress, but you can make an armor save for half damage.
Hey, tell me how to do an armor save.
You roll your armor.
Oh, there we go. I just didn't see it. I forgot I had written that down. I'm good. So I got an 18. So that is underneath.
So you take 3 damage, but give me another body save.
Body save.
Yep.
That is a 69. So that is not a save.
All right. So remind me about that. So this is a
sounds like a great thing to remind you about it later.
69 at the end of the session. Okay. So yeah, this black appendage kind of pierces your shoulder, right? And you can see these weird little like tendrily vein type things kind of like reach out like on your skin. And you guys are starting to smell this. It definitely has like this really like psycho scene. Like you guys recognize it immediately. There's a huge fucking mech on the back of the. It definitely has this like fuel smell, right? And then it is on Praxo.
So yeah, Praxel, I think I like the idea that she was pulled out kind of by surprise. She was sort of trying to gear up for the fight and then got pulled out, and so I think she's trying to figure out how she can help from out here. And
so inside the vehicle, right now, right, is Striv and Marin, right? Striv just shanked the or wait a second. So you would have had to got into the vehicle, right, Striv? Because I thought you sat on the top of the vehicle.
Well, time had elapsed. I said I was in like yeah. Like this is a different scene. So yeah, I was not writing up top because we had a guy who was in here who I don't think any of us particularly trust.
So yeah, this thing is flailing around. Like probably on the other side of it, that your friends are probably between you and the enemy at this point, unless you go around the vehicle and open up the other door.
I think that's actually what I'm going to start to do. But before I do that, I'm going to say to I just want to talk to Ori and say like, what do you think we should do? I feel like if you and me can sort of get it out of there, you know, I feel like you probably have the best shot of, taking a shot at it.
I don't want to shoot into the car, and I don't want to shoot into the team, but yeah, if we can get it out, I will take it down. Yeah, I think so. I think Praxel is gonna try and run and crawl directly under the truck to get to the other door faster, and just try and open that door so that if our guys are in between me and the monster, then I want to open the other door so hypothetically they could force it out of the truck, and not directly towards Ori.
Yeah, and so you get over there, you open the door up, right? These appendages are flailing around. Now your partners are on the other side of this strange monster. or with these strange appendages, right?
Yeah.
And then we are back at the top, right? So it is back on the fast group again, right? You guys, what do you do? Praxel ran around, opened the door. There is an option there, right? I think Marin, you didn't really go last time. So like having seen the actions of your companions? What do you do?
Yeah, seeing the door being thrown open, somebody just go at it with a katana. I definitely hunker my shoulders back against one wall of the cab, put my legs into it, and try to shove it out as hard as I can.
All right, roll against me. I'm gonna roll. You roll your strength. I'm gonna roll as well. Whoever gets the highest without going over their stat wins. I got a 2, so it's gonna. If you succeed, it'll be pretty easy for you to win.
So my strength is 39, and I rolled a 53, so I think I failed.
Yeah. So this thing not only does it resist against you pushing it out, but it lashes out at you. Let's see. Trying to lash out at your face. You're able to dodge and duck a little bit, but it definitely tries to jab you. What do you do, Tony, and what do you do, Parrish?
I'm gonna hit it with a katana again.
Do it.
At least I'm gonna try to. I guess I should say. That is a 55, which is, I think, exactly my stat, right? So that's a success and a crit.
Yeah, sick. So deal. Go ahead and roll double the dice for the damage.
Do what? Double the dice.
Double the dice. Get all your D10s out.
14.
Borrow some
plus,
if you don't have enough.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. What is 0 on this? Double zeros would be what?
10.
10. Okay. So 15, 16, 17. My math sucks. Minus 10, minus. So that's going to be 62 damage.
Holy shit. Right. So describe how you kill this thing.
It hits me in the shoulder, right? And as it does that, it comes up incredibly closer to me than it was when I took off its 2 last legs, which puts me right in reach of his body. So I cut through the leg that just went into my shoulder and then drive my sword up into this guy's neck and head to kill him.
As the adrenaline starts to subside, the realization of what had just happened starts to set in on the party. Everybody, give me a sanity roll.
What do we roll for our sanity roll?
It's a
Is
check.
it a
Roll,
100 and
yeah,
check?
roll it. Yeah, roll a D100. So you guys should be all at 1 stress right now, from the not doing good at the mechanics, and then if you took any damage this last round, then you should have taken another stress, right? So Tony, I think you're the only person who's at
2,
more
yeah.
than 1.
Okay.
All right. Did anybody fail their sanity rolls?
I did.
I critted a success. I got a 33.
So you go ahead and heal one stress.
Oh, sweet.
You're the most out of all of us.
Yeah, I'm like, this is fine.
So everybody who failed the sanity roll, you take 2 stress as you struggle to cope with what just happened. It's definitely on your mind, watching those appendages burst out of that person's chest, the bloody remains still kind of sitting there next to the truck. Tomil is completely bloody in the face, right? It looks like he'll have like permanent scarring from this appendage, right? Striking out at him. The other group has stopped by the time this is all and has backed up. old Bill runs out and he's like, what's going on? And the rest of them as well, Corinth and Khalip, they come out and they're also freaking out. They're handling it a lot worse than you. They see the dead body on the ground and all this. And at this point, the appendages have turned from like a solid, like what you would know from a solid, to like this black sludge, right? And it's kind of like seeping into the desert sand. It's getting late. You guys aren't far from Sand Springs, but again, Tommy can't drive anymore for sure. His face is fucked up.
Yeah, I think Marin would be fairly distressed at the moment, having been right close to it, trying to shove it out the door when the katana went through it. He's now probably covered in like blood and viscera, and he's right angry, and he's yelling at nobody in particular. Don't kill it! Kill it! What? Make up your damn minds!
I think
Kill it.
Praxel is
like
Praxel's
holding my
kind of
shoulder.
annoyed.
And it's definitely burning a little
Praxel's
bit
kind
more
of
than what
like-
you would expect.
Feels like you guys are being too dramatic about all of this. To be fair, she didn't really see the worst of it, but I think she's actually interested to, she knows that this was some sort of weird, horrible mutation, and she's at least passively curious about it. So she tries to find something to scoop up some of the black sludge, just to see, like, hey, maybe this would be useful. What is this stuff? Maybe
Give me another
we could
sanity
use
roll.
this as a sanity roll. Okay.
Yeah, you scoop up you start to scoop up the black sludge, and you said something earlier about having had a moment like with like a telepathic moment with Gordinaak. So I'm just kind of riffing off of that, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. I critted again. I got a 22.
So I'm gonna say that you gain a synapse slot, right?
Oh, sweet.
You get another use, right? You're definitely like maybe you're having like a moment of clarity or something like that, but you're definitely realizing that this is all related to like some sort of ancient elder shit, right? Like Gordinaak, the plant, because like you guys aren't, the rest of you aren't like aware of how living the planet is, but you're probably like you're getting like really aware of how alive the planet is and shit like that. So everybody, I was Parrish. How are you handling the stress of having seen all of that?
Yeah, Tomil and I are close. We're not actually related, but we do look enough alike to humans anyway that we tell people that we're cousins pretty reasonably, pretty usually. And we are friends. So I am like working with him, trying to get him feeling better, but also knowing that I'm going to be the one taking over for the driving for today.
Yeah, and there's probably like some sort of like mutual respect there. The fact that both of you are just alive into adulthood, right, with your cultural practices, right, is like a godsend, right? Like, so you guys are you got get Tomil loaded back up and everything like that. Everybody kind of takes back their positions. You kind of have a feeling that the other truck is like definitely probably a pretty quiet ride to Sand Springs if we were panning over, right? Everybody's kind of looking out the window, right? And not really able to kind of compute what's going on, right? Especially, and not to mention some of your friends are missing, right? Like some of the people that you know and work with every day are completely missing on top of having seen all of this, right? So you guys see Sand Springs in the distance. It is like kind of like a shanty town, but like built up, right? Like if somebody had a shanty town and they kept building, right, and they kept putting infrastructure there, right? You see, and you guys have been here probably, right? This is a small, like I said, shanty town. There's a couple bars. There's there's an inn that you guys normally stay at if you guys are making a psycho scene run or anything like that, right? But outside of Rex's lounge, where you guys normally hang out whenever you guys stop through here, you see those six desert shadow, or I'm sorry, the Thousand Shadows dirt bikes sitting out front of Rex's, where you guys are normally haunt. Guys, it's been an hour. Let's take a quick break, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Do you want to do like a 5 minute? How long do you want to do?
Yeah, let's do a quick let's do a fiver real quick, and then we'll get back and we'll see what Sand Springs has for you guys. All right.
Cool. So we are playing
Sounds
Gordinaak right now. It is a mothership RPG setting that is gasoline flavored mothership. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Stay active in the chat. I'll be here right after I grab another beverage. Sad boy, I hope you're doing okay because I finished mine. I don't know.
And I think I know who
Sad
Sad Boy is. If that's you, Spooky, I love you. You're the best, man.
But you guys keep on chatting in the chat. Let other people know about the stream. We're gonna come back and find out what other kind of shenanigans we get into, and then I'm gonna die from that wound in my shoulder later on in the session. It's gonna be great.
Maybe.
So.
Yeah, who says?
And we are back playing Gordinaak, which is a mothership RPG set on a dying planet with mechs and gangs. We are in the middle of a cyclocene run. Some of our previous crewmates, people who have made this run before, we work for a cartel or clan. That have been trying to make this, have made this run. A bunch of them have gone missing. We're being held responsible for getting the cyclocene where it belongs, and things have gone wrong. Cal, Parrish, Steven, one of you guys want to tell me a little bit about what's been going on the adventure?
Well, we found we blew out a tire and then found a guy who was dying of thirst out in the desert. We kind of tried to take him in and help him out, but once he sort of got back on his feet a little bit, and we were driving on our way, all of a sudden he had some sort of horrendous mutation episode and turned into some sort of disgusting Spider-Man monster. Not Spider-Man, more like a man spider, I would say.
He's doing a lot of quips and trying to tell us where to get the best pizza in Queens.
Yeah.
So.
And we were able to defeat this horrible man spider and made it safely to our destination. And so we were just sort of taking a load off, but we've also encountered some suspicious characters outside of, I believe it was Rex's, our go-to haunt. So we're just sort of getting into town and starting to take it easy, but there might be trouble on the horizon here.
Yeah, and I got a wound that I'm pretty sure the end means Jeremy's going to make me roll or not, just kill me one way or the other. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. Which, I'm deeply attached to this one-shot character. So
well, I just said remind me. If you forget to remind me, it might not happen, right? So.
Any other details, Stephen, Parrish, that you guys want to toss in from the trip so far?
You guys are doing the worst mentally doing the worst right now, right?
Oh yeah, Marin's definitely a bit shaky, covered in viscera. I imagine his shirt and his pants are rather stained at the moment. Not in the best of moods, comparatively, I imagine. I would question: is this something that happens? I wouldn't say regularly, but are strange or bad things like this want to happen on a trip such as this?
No, not at all. This isn't normal flora, fauna type shit, right? Like, this is absolutely outside the realm of what you would think is possible, even.
Right.
Yeah, so there's dangers that are, natural, right, to Gordinaak, right? But this is not one of those types of dangers.
Like the type of danger we're used to is the bikers who rode by us.
Yeah.
And wild creatures, but not this type of thing.
Yeah, maybe a giant snake or something like that, right? Or some sort of like carnivore, but not like a weird slime monster.
Coyote.
Yeah. Yeah. A mean coyote. So yeah, you guys have arrived at Sand Springs. You guys have got basically another half a day's trip ahead of you. At this point, normally you would stop at the last stop in before going in the morning to the fields. There's nothing stopping you from pressing on. But like I said, you do see those 6,000 shadows spikes out in front of Rex's.
Tomlin's hurt, right? Tomlin's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take care. Like, I mean, I cleaned this wound the best I could, but I want to try to take care of whatever. Like, I want to actually try to treat it more intentionally. And so I think stopping is probably that's Striv's like absolute preference at this point. Which Striv is typically the kind of person who's like, let's keep on going. But
Praxel, I don't know if this would be a tonight thing or like tomorrow morning, but if all those bikes are just outside, I think Praxel might hope to do some sabotage. which is something that she can do relatively quickly and easily. One of her psychic powers, again, she sort of has this prospector background, and most of her powers are oriented towards like looking through, like sifting through the dirt and bending metal. And so I think if she has a chance, whether that's tonight or the next morning, she's gonna kind of try and walk past or walk through this group of bikes, and she can just reach out and she can bend metal with her mind as long as she can also touch it. And so I think she might just sort of like walk through a line of these bikes, just trying to like bend things up a little bit. She's not doing anything specific to all of them. She's just messing with them, so they're off to a bad start. If
absolutely. So let's you can easily do that to one of them, right?
Okay.
So there's 6 bikes. You can do it to 2 of them without using it because you got an extra slot for the day, right? But the third one is going to possibly overexert you. Do you want to try all 6 of them?
Yeah, I think so. I think after the day we've had, I'm just like, you know what? The last thing we're gonna want is these guys messing with us. And like, if we've had run-ins with them before, I'd rather just preemptively screw them over, whether or not they're actually here to bother us.
Yeah, I got you. So I said the 2. So out of 6, right? You can do 2 easily. The other 4 are gonna be kind of stressful on you. But before we handle that, right?
Sure.
Let's before we handle that, what is Ari, Marin, and Striv going to do as you guys as you all stop for and get settled in for the night?
Yeah, I've not had good relations with that biker gang. So they know me, and I would probably want to lay low. I'm also real concerned for my bro Tamil, so I'm gonna try to get him to a clinic if we can.
Yeah, sick. So you know that there's that there's like there's not really a clinic, but you can get somebody to come to the last stop in. I guess we'll say that his name is Doctor. Well, I guess what is his name? Because I don't have a name ready. What's the doctor's name?
Jarvis.
So Dr. Jarvix, right, can come to the last stop in, but it definitely is going to cost you some platy for the service, right? So you walk over, you start heading towards the last stop, right? Tamil like holding his face, right? And you see somebody you recognize, right? You see the proprietor, Ileana, right, run out, right? She looks excited at first, right? But then she sees that you're not Rooker, right? Which is one of the people who's reported as missing, right? So you can see that as soon as she sees that you're not Rooker, she starts like fucking crying, and she's like, I thought that you guys were. When I saw your truck, I thought it was gonna be Rooker inside there, but I haven't seen him. They've been gone forever, and it only takes a half a day to get there. And this is who Rooker normally sees whenever you guys stop through here. If you're,
is he part of our crew?
Yeah.
Is he one of the he's one of the ones who's already missing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of your fellow desert devils.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know exactly what happened still. Like he's, we're keeping an eye out for him. Hopefully when we get to the end of the run, he'll be there. Maybe it's just a mechanical issue, but like haven't seen any wreckage. We haven't seen any issues. I think he's going to be fine.
She kind of clears her she clears her eyes a little bit, and she looks over and she sees Praxel kind of positioning to sabotage these bikes, right? And she's like, whatever Praxel's doing over there is, I I'm glad. Fuck those motherfuckers. And she spits on the dirt while she's looking at it, and she's like wiping her eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Ori, are you still bleeding? Or your wound is cleaned up? Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong guy. Striv.
Yeah.
I like did a basic patch up on it, but like, yeah, I'm wanting the doctor also too, because I want to actually get this thing cleaned up and taken care of. Like,
Yeah, so I imagine this woman here is talking to Striv, but I can't stop looking at your wound, and I'm going over in my head. Does this wound look similar to the wounds that were on the guy that we brought into our truck?
Right now it just looks infected. Right,
Oh.
and he's a lizard, so it would be kind of hard to compare a human flesh cut to a lizard flesh cut.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really just kind of focusing on that and going back and forth and looking back at the truck and looking down at myself and looking back at the blood dripping out of the truck and looking back at the wound and really just thinking and twitching maybe a little bit more than normal.
Give me a sanity roll.
Okay. That is a 49, which is a fail.
So you take another stress as you struggle to kind of cope with the situation. The realization that there's a possibility that one of your teammates is possibly sicker than they realize, right? The fact that you saw arms or appendages pop out of this person's rib cage, and the fact that this woman is crying over one of your near and dear friends, right, right in front of you. Cal, you are over there about to. So give me four sanity rolls, and tell me if you fail any.
All right, let's see. My sanity is 60. We'll see how we do. 89. Fail right off the bat.
All right, so that's one failure. So you're not going to be able to even continue, right? You're gonna overexert immediately. So give me just a second.
Yeah.
So give me, I think it's 2d10.
Yeah, 2d10. Let's see.
There's no ads or anything like that, so it's just 2d10.
I got a 6.
All right, 6 is, where are we at? 6 is Mancer Bleed. For 1d10 hours, your emotions manifest as external Mancer threats. So for the rest of the session, random Mancer powers are going to come out of you. We'll base that on sanity rolls at disadvantage. Right. So now, let's do a random one right now because it's happening right now.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's just nobody's around around you specifically, right, Praxel? It's just you over there by the bikes, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So lightning starts to just manifest all around you, right? Bow, boom, just everywhere around you, right? 7 desert or 1,000 shadows come to the door and look. Give me a body save as you're trying to dodge this electrical storm that you've just created in the general vicinity.
I got a 20.
So
oh yeah,
okay, you're able. Okay. Is that a success?
Yeah, just barely.
Right.
I have 25.
So you're able to dodge these lightning bolts, right? Maybe you can kind of foresee them coming or whatever. But there are six rival members of a rival gang standing at the doorway of Rex's lounge, watching you near their bikes. Right? They probably don't know exactly what you've done, but they're not too cool right now. You hear one of them say, "Hey, I heard your fucking friends are missing. It'd be a shame if something like that happened to someone like you, huh?
Well, I'm not missing at all. I know where I am. I am sorry. I didn't mean to trip that trap you had on your bikes there, with all the lightning and so forth. But I'm real sorry, and I think you have me confused with someone else. And I hope you have a great night.
He spits on the ground. It's just like a desert devil, just like one. Afraid of everybody, just like your friends, like Rooker, I bet, right? Yeah, he probably did the same thing. He probably ran.
I think I think she can't really tell whether or not he's just trying to goad her or whether he might actually know something. And so she's sort of like caught on the edge of like maybe feeling like she should like continue instigating this fight or just walk away.
So what do you guys? So you guys are watching this like storm manifest, right? You guys see 6 of these thousand shadows, right? At the door of Rex's lounge, right? You guys are kind of across the thoroughfare or the road or whatever, right? What are you guys doing?
Is the lightning still happening?
Oh yeah.
I'm just hoping. I'm just hoping it hits one of the bikes. They're not going to do shit. This is going on.
Just kind of looking about, almost embarrassed, like, oh, ooh, yeah.
Actually, that's
right
maybe
there,
like yeah, we're terrified, just like you're afraid to go over by her and your bikes right now. Go ahead, stand there, like talk shit, like that's fine.
Well, you know what? This storm
No, I'm
is
sorry,
going to go
I can't
away.
hear you. I can't hear you from so far away.
He says the storm's going to go away, but Rooker's
The thunder,
never
it's very
back.
loud. You're very far away. You look very scared from this distance.
Yeah, they kind of just stand there. They wait out. They're willing to wait out the electrical storm. It looks like.
I think Praxel. I think once the other guys at least kind of have my back and she knows that they're there, she kind of gets cockier and she's like, oh well, if you don't think Rooker's coming back, that's one thing, but I feel like we should go look for him. And actually, do you mind if I borrow one of these bikes? Because I'll just hop on this bike right now if you're not using it anyway and you're not coming over here. How it's okay if I borrow this, right? And she like starts climbing up onto one of the bikes to see if she can like get it started or hotwire it or whatever. But she's mostly doing this to irritate them.
Yeah.
But also like if she can get it started and get away with one of these bikes, hey, why not?
Well, let's say you do get it started, right? But all 6 of them pull out submachine guns as you start to rev the bike up, right? And you kind of catch a glimpse of inside of Rex's, right? And Rex is the Desetti club owner of this place, right? And you look inside, and he looks like he is absolutely miserable right now. Like he is not having a good time with these fucking 1,000 shadows inside of his bar, right? Yeah. But they all pull out submachine guns, and as you get onto their bike, I think everybody roll initiative.
11.
So you get an extra action the first round.
30.
So yeah, just if you succeed, you go before them. If you fail, you go after.
I got a 32.
So you succeed? Is that under your speed?
Oh yeah, sorry, it cut out for a second. Yes, yeah, my speed is 38. Okay.
Yeah, so you're before them. So you get to ride off on that.
I fail.
So you go after
9.
Parrish.
Well, Well, I passed.
Okay, sick. So those of you who succeeded, I think Praxel probably needs to go first because they're the one who is attempting the steal of the bike.
So I want to do two things simultaneously, or one after the other. I don't know if this is acceptable. What I'm hoping to do is ride the bike out of there as fast as I can, but then as soon as I'm out of distance, I want to use another one of my psychic powers and teleport back to right behind them inside of Rex's.
Oh hell yeah! All right. So I'm gonna allow it because I really like it. I think it's too many actions, but I think it's too cool to not allow, right? But you're gonna have to check for your overexertion, of course, right?
Yeah.
So before the all right, so you teleport in behind them, right?
Uh-huh.
So give me your sanity roll, and then hold on to your sanity roll for a second, and
Cool.
then Parrish, what do you do as they ready their weapon and they are attempting this steal?
I think I'm going to start firing. So I'll pull out my weapon and see if we can take a couple of them down.
Hell yeah, that's the way to do it. All right, so make a combat roll. If you're not going to make any movement or anything like that, because I think you're like right across the street, right? So if you're not going to make any movement, you can shoot twice. But
First one is good. It's a 30. And so firing on one of them. 18, 21, 26.
So it's probably a success as well. So
I'm sorry, 26 damage.
Oh, 26 damage. My bad. My bad. All right. So you hurt one of them grievously.
Second fire?
Mm-hmm.
Or second burst fire, I suppose. Second burst fire is gonna fail.
So you miss the second shot. The weapon jams in your hands, right? You take one stress as you realize that in the middle of this, your weapon is starting to fail you. You're gonna need to use an action to clear it next round. Tony, you get 3 actions because you got that crit success.
Yeah. I don't want to use my sniper rifle. What I want to do is get up close. So I'm going to run across the street, draw out my katana as I go, and just take a swipe at the furthest distance from where Ori was just shooting at.
Sick.
And that's a 19. That is a success. Damage.
Yep. And I think you can go ahead and do both your attacks if you want, and then roll all the damage.
Okay, cool. So that is a 28, and then so that is going to be 53 damage altogether.
Jesus Christ. So you get so describe how you kill the one that you're
I think I think it'd probably be back from across the street from like more Marin's perspective, because I think it goes fast enough that Striz doesn't even register what specifically happens. He just knows it was a killing blow. So as I run by, I like swing low and then like come back immediately with a swing high and step beyond the person and kind of prepare to hit the next individual beyond them, and they just kind of crumple down behind me, and blood starts pooling on the future boards of this of Rex's.
Sick. So then it is their turn, right? I'm just gonna roll for them. We'll just do AOE, right? So everybody make a body save as they spray their submachine guns at everybody.
So I'm up next to them. Are they shooting? Am I in that area Like if
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody.
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 I failed.
Saved.
Yeah, I fail hard.
I rolled a 10. I'm good.
All right. So 12, 15, 16 damage to anybody who failed.
Okay.
Wait, is
you-
where is Cow's character at this time? Because they had driven off and then we're teleported.
Oh
back.
yeah. You're behind them. So my bad. You're not having to.
I think it makes sense actually that if I'm driving off at this point, that I'm still within spraying range, and maybe that's what inspires me to like, hey, screw this! I don't want to be in front of their guns.
Fair. I'm down with it. So everybody who takes damage also takes 1 stress.
Good.
On a
Hey,
path.
what do you
Are we
have?
Yeah. So if you passed, no damage. And then it is Steven, Marin. What does Marin do?
Marin just got hit by a couple bullets as they ripped through his flesh. He kind of whips out his pistol, gritting his teeth, and he's going to line up a couple shots, seeing no other option here.
Sick. Also, how much stress do you have?
5.
Okay.
How much stress until you panic?
I kind of do my panic checks willy nilly whenever I feel like it. Some people do it like based on certain metrics and stuff like that, but I think it's more fun just to do it in the moment when it feels right. So yeah, you're definitely shaken up with 5 stress, right? But you're not full on panic mode, right? And make your combat rolls.
Okay. What am I rolling against on this?
Combat.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's a good one. That's an 11. So that's a crit success.
Yeah, double that damage.
And then I guess damage would be. Let's see, that is
What are you shooting with, Marin?
just a pistol. Uh, 27 points of damage.
Sick. So, do you happen to shoot at the one that that Parrish was already shooting at?
Yeah.
Yeah. Describe how you kill the one that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a quick shot, and I'm shaken and definitely not a sharpshooter by any sort of regards. So as I fling my hand up, it's definitely a fluke that it just hits him dead in the center of the forehead.
All right. So they're starting to kind of panic. But they're able to steel themselves against running away, and we're back at the top, right? So I keep wanting to call your character Jarlaxle, but it's Praxel. Praxel teleports in behind, right? Parrish was shooting, but is needing to clear the gun, right? You have, after you get the gun cleared, do you make a movement or do you shoot?
I have 4 arms.
Oh yeah, so you have a third action. My bad. You should have taken that last time. You could have cleared the thing.
Do we want to just
Last
say that? Do we want to just say we cleared it? Yeah.
Yeah, we can retcon it. It's clear.
Okay, so does Cow drive through first?
I mean, it's all you guys decide.
I think what we said, yeah. So Cow's character Praxel has cleared the space and is out and is teleported, though we may not know that.
Oh, but was this a sanity roll? What was the result of that sanity roll?
I got my exact sanity number, 60.
Okay, so you're good. You
Okay.
did not overexert. You were able to teleport.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure what that meant. Cool.
The only time it
Okay,
doesn't, the only time equal to does not count as panic rolls, right? Like if you fail a panic roll if it is equal to still. So
Cool. Well, for what it's worth, I think it makes sense if you continue firing. You know, that's part of the risk, and I think Praxel knows that. But she wants to just take advantage of the situation. She's small anyway, so when she pops up behind them, what she's gonna do is the one who was yelling at her a minute ago. She's gonna do that thing where she hits him in the back of the knee to try and get him to like collapse backwards. Not to like cause him damage, but just to like get him down to her level and take him by surprise. And then once, assuming that's okay. If I have to roll for that, I'm down for that. But
all right, sick. So your teleport pops off, right? The bike continues like rolling down the road. I'm assuming and then hopefully like crashes into something and explodes violently somewhere else, right? Like,
yeah.
Unrelated to the scene, and then you pop in behind and then try to get him at a lower level. So give me a combat roll to see if you're able to pull that off.
Let's see here. Oops, there we go. All right. I got a 61, so no.
And not only do you not pull it off, but he turns around deftly, right? And kicks you like side kicks you into the room. You take 12 damage and 1 stress as you get kicked into the room. You can armor save for half. Now
I'll take my shots.
yeah, take your shots.
Yeah.
So 0-0 is good, right?
Yeah, that's a critical success.
No. Sorry, I mean the first 0-0. So I got a 4. So
Yes.
0-0 is low. Yeah.
low. Yeah. So I got a 4. So I'll roll. 99 is 18, and 2 is 20, and 23.
Yep. So that kills, or that injures one really bad.
Let's go. Let's go another shot on that same one then.
Yeah.
Nope. That's a fail, and it's a crit fail. 88.
You realize that you don't have any more ammo at all, like on your person.
On the trailer.
Okay. Then with the remainder of my movement, I'll try to find a bit of a hiding space, but I also want to try to close distance.
Sick. So you kind of take cover and move forward.
Like
Yeah,
behind the
move forward,
bikes,
but-
probably.
But yeah, that sounds perfect. Dive behind the bikes.
Sick. Tony.
I do have a pipe wrench, but that's all I got left.
So we've got the one I killed, the one that got shot to death, the one that just kicked Praxel, and then 3 more unnamed Thousand Shadows, right?
There's only 4,000 shadows left.
That's
Only
right.
4,000 shadows left. We got this, guys.
4,000.
I mean, I already stepped past the last one, so this guy's getting a swipe and then a stab.
Their name originally was Desert Shadows, but since your guys' name became Desert Devils, right? I changed their name to Thousand Shadows so that it wasn't such a
That would get
rivalry. This is why there was a rivalry. They had to change their names because of us.
We got 2 successes. Math is hard. 18. 9. So it's going to be 27, and then
You can either kill one or grievously wound one. You can either kill the one that just got shot by Ari, or you can grievously wound another one.
well, that was only my half of my damage, so I'll kill the one right there, and then I'll go ahead and stab the next one as I step forward, and that is going to be 9, 14, 21. Half of that is 8, 20, 29.
All right. So you grievously wound another one, right? After killing that one.
Yeah.
Uh,
3 remain.
so
2.5.
only three remain, but one is really hurt.
And I think by that point, I think the second one I hit is probably the one who had just kicked Praxel, like the mouthy one. Like I've worked my way far enough down the line to him.
They get up and they pull like the person who's like really injured. So they start pulling them towards the bikes. Right, the lightning is still kind of going off intermittently or whatever. Let me see if there is any kind of problem with them in the lightning. Actually, yes, there is. So go ahead and roll 40-10, Praxel.
You're muted, Cal.
You're muted, yeah.
Sorry. Let's see. 4d10. So I got let's see, 8, 0, 5, and 2.
10,
So
20, so
8-0.
10,
8, 0, 5, 2. Yeah.
10, 8 is 18, 23,
Yeah.
and then 2, 25 damage. So one of them gets struck by lightning. They all three get struck by lightning, and two of them, one of them just fries completely. The other two are trying to run away. Do you guys let them?
No, if I get a chance, I'd like to shoot out one of the fleer's tires.
Are they all?
They don't.
They're just running.
Their bikes are fucked. Yeah, they're running.
Okay.
They
go
try
to
their bikes, and they're the ones that are the ones that Praxel sabotaged, and they're literally running on foot away, like as well as they can because they're fucked up. They're really bad hurt.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, same applies. Can I shoot one in the leg?
Yeah, you can try.
Okay.
Make that combat roll. Might just kill him with this leg shot.
That's not bad. That's a 29, so that's a pass.
Yeah, give me a damage roll.
So that is going to be 21 points of leg damage.
Yeah, so it just blows their fucking leg off, right? Like just like completely disconnects their bottom half of their leg from their leg. They collapse. The other one starts to tend to them. Guys, I have to use the bathroom real quick. Give me just one second, and then we'll deal with these people. They've given up essentially. Right?
Yeah, we'll take a quick bio break if anybody needs one. We'll come back as soon as Jeremy comes back. So stay tuned if you're watching. We'll be right back.
Do, 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 do.
Do, 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 do. All right, and we are back playing Gordinaak. It's a mothership planet module. By the way, I want to go ahead and say we'll talk about this a little bit more at the end of the game. Like mothership modules are some of the hardest things to write, especially with the kind of expectations. I feel like that the ones that come out from Tuesday night games, so they're these fully fleshed places that you can explore extensively that have lots of plot hooks, and they're some of the best written modules that I have ever seen. The ones that Tuesday Night Games, the company that produces Mothership, puts out, and so far, like Gordinaak is like stacking up to be all the things I expect from a Mothership RPG module. So I'm just super excited about it. I'll drop the link again in the chat for anybody who isn't following Jeremy yet. You should be. His Kickstarter goes live in a couple of weeks. We'll talk to him a little bit more about the design process at the end of our actual play. But I just want to throw it out there. Like, it's a hard thing to do. And so far, this is stacking up incredibly well. I'm very excited, even though I'm going to horribly mutate and die into some sort of spider beast. So, yeah. So there we go. Oh, Jeremy, I can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
No? Now we can. Yep, there we go.
Okay. So the two of them kind of collapse in the street, right? Like, did we kill? Yeah. So the two of them collapse in the street, like trying to kind of drag themselves like away from you guys, right? And it's the one that was talking shit about Booker earlier, right? Is one of the ones that's making his way, like away from you. What do you guys do as these guys are kind of groveling and?
I'm gonna walk up on the one who is talking shit about Rooker and pull my sword out and just press it gently into his flesh. By what gently I mean enough to draw blood and create pain, but not enough to actually do damage. And say, Medley, I don't know if it was Booker or Rooker. Rooker?
I can't remember.
Okay, Rooker.
I think it was Rooker.
Rooker. I'm pretty sure it was Rooker. I usually write names down. So what do you know about what happened to Rooker?
And he spits on the ground. He's like, nothing, man. We didn't do shit to Rooker, man. I just heard about it. I
mean, you were talking shit about Rooker, so what did you hear about him?
I just heard that there was missing.
Well, you said you were pretty sure he ran. What are you pretty sure he ran from?
Listen, you already wiped out half my fucking riding crew, man.
Well, yeah, because you started shooting at us.
Your friend was trying to steal my bike.
That is entirely inaccurate, for one thing. I'm pretty sure they were trying to destroy your bike. However, you're the one who started shooting.
I actually fired the first shot.
They pulled out the guns. And I've got the sword on him.
and he's like, listen to your friend. He took the first shot, man. We were just retaliating. It's like your first day in Oaza, or it's like your first day in 1,000 Mile.
Well, it might be your last day if you don't tell me what you actually know.
Listen. We've just been coming out here to Rex. We've been trying to grab that Messina clan job too, man. There's nothing else to it. That's all it is. We want the job too. We was checking it out to see possibly what was going on too. We want to know why your people are missing because we want the job.
And what'd you see?
We just got here. You saw us ride around. We passed you on the way here.
And you didn't see anything?
We just got here.
Well, you can just leave.
Listen, here's the way that it looks to me. I'm in Rex's, right, having a fine time, right? I hear lightning and thunder outside the bar. I come to check to see what's happening. There's a Saiki trying to mess with my bikes. Me and my crew pull my weapons out, and half of us get mowed down for no reason.
Right. Anytime you pull your weapon out, there's a chance you could get mowed down. That's not for no reason. It's because you pulled your weapons out.
He spits on the ground one more time. He's like, if you're gonna do it, man, just do it. Just do it.
Now the desert can take you. You can start walking.
And he kind of gathers up his friend, right? And like they limp off into the shanty neighborhoods that are like nearby.
Yeah, is there any sort of law in this place? Like, is murder frowned upon, and is this going to be a problem for us?
Mhm.
It's all territorial, right? So like you're like in your neighborhood, right? Like you would be allowed to kill whoever you wanted, right?
Gotcha.
But
Just
like
like in
here
the
is
real
more
world.
lawless than
All right. Well,
yeah,
while you're having
exactly.
this conversation, I'm just kind of looking at any
I
of the
live in
passersby
Florida,
and,
so
and flashing my pistol at them and nodding as in like keep moving, nothing to see here.
yeah, and they definitely take note, and you know they again they're biting their thumb at you, and it's spitting out the
They're
cam.
biting all four thumbs at you.
They're
It's just
like
one of those, it's just
they're just huge Shakespeare fans, so they're like biting their thumbs at us.
Do
Like,
you quarrel?
listen. Leonardo DiCaprio's Romeo and Juliet is
very
absolutely
popular on this planet.
a huge influence on Gordinaak. All right,
It's,
so you're laughing
It was
like
the
it's
only
a joke,
DVD
but-
to survive the apocalypse.
it's all
One of my
no,
lesser
I love it.
sponsors
Yeah.
is one of my lesser sponsors is a Earth movie streaming service. So
So you guys have a half day's trek ahead of you, right? You guys have just murdered a whole bunch of people, members of the Thousand Shadows clan for basically mouthing off. If and you aren't any closer to understanding where your team is, what's going on at all, right? At this point, as the night starts to progress, Striv is starting to kind of feel like worse and worse. Nothing that's gonna
Wait,
affect you.
we were getting a doctor.
You do get a doctor, and you're able to heal D10 damage, right, for the night's rest.
Is
But
that all of us?
yeah, everybody.
Okay.
And of course, you can stay at Ileana's like always. It's kind of the general thing, and but you do talk to what was his name again? We called him Dr. Jarvix. You do talk to him, right? And he just thinks it's infected, right? He just thinks that it just needs to be cleaned, keep it clean, and that you'll be fine.
Is he a human doctor?
Before the night is over. Yeah. Does he
Yeah,
know?
he is a human doctor.
I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
That's probably real, right? That would probably be real. So, and just because of that, and I don't know if you guys have picked up. Be careful what you say to me. Make a sanity roll as you sit and wonder about your festering wound.
Make a
Tony or everyone?
No, just him as he's wondering about.
I
his...
failed my sanity roll.
All right, you take three stress as you start to get paranoid about the wound that you have and not trusting this doctor.
Yeah,
How many stress do you have right now?
I think I was at 1. I'm trying to pull my character sheet over. I've got a couple screens up. It's really funny. I'm at full health and dying at the same time. It's great. I only have 1 stress.
Okay, yeah. So, but you're starting to kind of panic about this wound that doesn't seem to be getting any better.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna like default to like, because my character was also a kind of desert, like he's a nomad for most of his life, and so I'm gonna just like default to like, okay, what's the basic survival medical techniques for like infected wounds for my people? Like I'm just like done with this weird doctor. I'm like, what do we do when we're in this situation? And it just as a way to kind of console myself and do whatever those things are. Like we don't have to play through any of it, but like I'm gonna
saliva base, like
it's basically it's like I'm gonna go find the right type of desert dirt and mix of my own saliva and clean the wound with that, because in my mind that's gonna make it better.
Yeah, grind up a 2-headed lizard, rub it in there.
So, but unless you guys want to do something else, right? you guys get a good rest, or as good as possible, right? You're still really shaking up from the events, not any closer to finding out what's happened to your friends. What do you guys do?
Well, before we go to bed, after that entire thing, so we had 2 bikes that got ruined. We had 1 bike that got driven off and exploded. There are 3 other bikes that now don't have owners, and they're going in the back of a trailer. Absolutely, like there's no way we're not taking those bikes with us.
I've ran this a lot of times, and every time if they don't sabotage all of the bikes, they take them. So.
I'd say there's no. I mean, it's probably worth taking the 2 broken bikes with us. I mean, like we can probably easily fix whatever was broken.
That's
at
that's what I'm finding is like one of the coolest loots with this game is whole ass vehicles. People are like, car? Yeah, I take the car.
Yeah, I take the car. The much faster vehicle that you described, I absolutely take that thing. Yes.
Yeah. It's Grand Theft Auto.
For what it's worth, I was going to mention before, part of the reason that Praxil jumped off the bike is I don't think she's actually big enough to drive it. And so I think even if we end up using these bikes, I want it I think it's canon that she is not able to actually steer one of these long term. She just got it up and going, and
like you were able to like start it and then like jump down and like pull the accelerator bar while you were jumping down and like kind of like ride on it like this for 50 feet before you.
I don't think she is big enough to be capable of driving potentially any vehicle, but other ones might have like accommodations. But yeah, I just want that in the record that I think if we're gonna use these bikes, she has to like ride with somebody else.
Like in one of those baby seats that you have for bikes.
Just a basket on the front.
So you can tell that Tommel is gonna probably need to get rest, right? Like here, like you can tell he's probably needs to stay here until you're on your way back or something like that. But you guys unless you want to check out, go talk to Rex or anything like that.
I mean, I'll apologize to Rex, but it's also like apologizing in the sense of it's the I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Nah, I'm sorry you killed a bunch of people on your front porch.
And he understands, and he says, I wish you would have got here sooner. I didn't want him around here anyway. I was gonna tell you guys about him when somebody got here anyway. So
did they say anything?
They just kept talking about how your guys was missing. I've been sniffing around a lot around here lately. But.
Have you heard anything? I mean, like I know the last 2 crews that passed. I know they passed through here. Like, did anybody mention anything that would have like give us any insight into what may have happened?
I mean, nobody's really willing to go out there, man. It's shit's getting weird out there. So weird stuff's happening. But they came through. That first crew came through about a week and a half ago. Never came back. Then your second crew came through a little bit later. Never came back. It's only half day out there.
Yeah, like my thought is we can get there, get loaded up, and push it to get back here. You know, like that. I don't want to spend any more time there when we have to.
I mean, you guys know the 1,000 Mile Desert just as good as I do. It could be anybody or anything. I mean, I was under the impression that those fucking Thousand Shadows guys had some kind of. Because I know you guys have an issue. I figured it was them, but I overheard what happened yesterday, so I'm not so sure now.
Right.
Well, how about this? Any news, anything on the market around here? I imagine you're a knowledgeable guy. Any sort of whispers about a payload or something msomebody shouldn't have?
Listen, if there's any psycho scene that gets taken from the Messina fields, I'm gonna see it. I haven't seen nothing. Nothing's come from that direction. Not even and they have their own men out there too. None of them. I haven't seen none of them. They normally come into town. grab a few things every now and then. Haven't seen none of them.
I'm just thinking, uh, expensive payload like that, it wouldn't be too much for even our own guys to decide that it's a payday of their own. Why split it with the rest of us? You know what I'm saying?
Your guess is as good as mine at this point.
Well, and you said weird stuff. Weird stuff what?
No, I mean,
I'm particularly interested in weird stuff these days.
well, it's just the rumors ever since they found that fucking fuel out in the desert, man. Since they found the psycho scene, this shit is getting weirder and weirder. That people come home, their home is gone, destroyed. Nobody knows what happened. People talk about giant monsters in the desert, giant fucking monsters, and this is coming from like a lizard. Also, like the lizard is acting like giant monsters are weird. I think we're going to hell, Marin. I think we're going to hell. I think that's what it is.
Well, in the meantime, how about let's get for this table here, can I get 3 of your strongest boozes and 1 child's portion of your strongest booze? That's for me.
And he goes and he kind of picks one of the bullets out of the door as he's walking through with one of his claws, and he grabs the booze and serves you guys up.
Praxel
really loud,
tips very
very dark inside here. Lots of neon lights and everything like that.
I mean, yeah, I'll have a couple drinks, and then I mean, my character's ready to go to bed after he spits some dirt in his wound. You probably mix some of that booze in there with it also too.
Yeah, good clean booze.
And again, as the night goes on, you're not really you're feeling like worse and worse, and that wound feels like super hot, but it just nothing more than like a pretty bad infection, right? Like nothing more than that.
I was like, Jeremy was like, just don't remind me of it if you don't want anything bad to happen, and all we do is talk about the wound. That's the best part.
So you guys make it through the night. You guys get those hit points back, right? I think some of you guys are back to full health, but your mental state is probably not the best, right? That doesn't come back. You do not heal any of that.
I mean, I guess additionally to, before we go to bed, additionally to the sleeping, we probably should go ahead and check the specific wounds that Praxel has from getting shot at and then getting kicked and getting everything else. Because I think Praxel could probably use some additional healing. And so if there's any way for us to medically help Praxel specifically, that'd probably be a good idea.
It's brutal, Tony. It's hard out here.
It is.
No,
actually this is probably a bad idea, but I do have one last synapse left for the previous day, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and heal myself using that.
So this is where Cal logs off after killing.
No. Hold on, wait a second. No, you were out of synapses you were well out.
I was.
No,
yeah.
he had the extra one, so he had his synapses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had 2. I got an extra one. I ruined the bikes and
oh
failed.
yeah.
I teleported and then I got beat up real bad. So, but I haven't actually used the 3rd one. So I'm just gonna try and heal myself real quick to see if make things better, because I'm in pretty rough shape. I have 8 hit points left. Yeah, I got 20, so I'm good. So I get another D10 of health. Another 6. Hey, that's something.
And I put a
right.
Band-Aid on that bullet wound.
Oh, thanks, bud. Can I have any of your leftover dirt solution too?
Yeah, slap it in there.
I normally even do like sometimes I use the I can't remember the exact URL, but it's like the .trash house rules, but I use them with Gordinaak, right? And so whenever you get to half health, you could possibly either die or get like a grievous wound or whatever. But I decided not to break those out, because it's like what, he plays with house rules with his own game then? Yes, I do. Actually, I do. So you guys wake up the next morning. Everything is as good as it possibly can get. You have a half a day ahead of you to make your way out to these fields. Tomo stays behind to try to rest, but you make your way into the 1,000-mile desert towards the Messina Psychocene fields. The trip is way more uneventful than the way that than whenever you got to the ride to Sand Springs. It's not very long until you see the Desert Devils, 2 Desert Devils tankers, right? You also see that all of the doors are open on both of the tankers, and there are bodies strewn around all of the around both of the vehicles, right? One is like leaving the Psychocene fields, and one looks like it was on its way, right? But they're right at the same area. The tanker, your guys' tanker has got point, right? Old Bill's driving that tanker. And they stop, and they get out, right? And they fucking run over and they start trying to tend to people and stuff like that, right? Everybody looks like they're well dead, though. You do see, though, over near the tankers, like a disassembled Messina clan mech, right? You can see the what is it, the colors or whatever on this mech, but it's like disassembled in this like big huge black puddle of like sludge, right? Old Bill goes over there by one of the tankers, and out from in like the crack where between the tanker and the trailer itself, this like black spike comes out and shoots right through his neck and out the other side, and it pulls back out, and he collapses immediately in front of your guys' eyes. So give me a yeah, give me a sanity roll as
That's
Old Bill.
normal.
A sanity roll.
We've seen a lot of this lately, so
That's a crit fail with an 88.
ooh, nice. All right, you are so lucky, bud. You take 3 stress, but we'll see how lucky you are. That puts you in panic range. So, Marin, give me a panic roll. What that is not a D100 roll this time. It's 2D10. You're trying to roll above your stress with 2D10. So not D100, 2D10. That uses some people.
Yeah, I should note that as per, I think it's my class, when I panic, everybody takes 1 point of stress.
So let's hope you don't panic.
Why? Why would you do that?
He's just really loud.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to roll above my... that's a 30.
No, you can't get a 30 with 2D10. It's not D100. It's
Yeah. Okay, I see. It's a 3 and a 10 then.
13.
That's it. So no, that's not above.
So that's under your stress.
My stress is currently 8, so that would be above. Yeah, no, we're good.
Okay. So you do not panic, right? You're able to steel yourself in this moment as old Bill dies. Everybody else who just failed, you just take 1 stress as Old Bill collapses and dies in front of you.
And all we saw was a spike come out of the sand and go into his throat and pull back in.
Out of like more like out of like the back of the tanker. Corinth was right next to him. She starts like freaking out and like trying to like run off into the desert, right? What do you guys do?
Corinth is human.
Corinth is
Not that I wanted to be
Desetti,
racist. about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, she's Desetti.
Oh, she's a lizard.
Yeah.
We know what to do out there. It's fine.
Well,
We're friends.
I do want to stop her, but
So,
So-
as you guys are in this moment of indecision, right? You see the mech parts that are in this puddle of sludge start to shake and like rattle on the ground, right? And they start to like you start to hear like the insides of them clank, right? As this slime starts to attach itself to the edges of the edges where the joints are broken off of the mech, right? And it pulls itself up, right? Right now, it's only got the legs in the torso of this humanoid shaped mech, right? There's still arms and legs around, and it comes and starts like stomping over towards you, right? This is a large class. This is a large class mech frame or whatever, so it's much larger than the mech that you guys had. It stomps onto the tanker and folds it right up in half.
I start shooting with my sniper rifle, which does 1 mega damage.
So everybody give me a sanity roll as this and as this thing is moving, you notice that the puddle of sludge kind of moves around it. Steven, you have a look of dismay on your face as you rolled your dice. What were your results on that sanity roll?
A 98.
Steven, in this game, you want to roll like low.
like lower than that.
You take 2 stress as you struggle to cope with, and anybody who failed that sanity roll takes 2 stress as they struggle to cope with understanding how this mech is possibly reassembling itself.
I got a crit success for what it's worth.
Heal is stress.
It calms you to see this.
You're like, actually, this is neat.
Which I think has happened to you every time weird sludge stuff has happened.
Yeah. Praxel loves sludge.
This is fine with me. How is everybody doing right now? How is everybody? Let's check in with everybody's characters. What is everybody going through at this moment?
Oh yeah, Marin's about ready to kick out the door and put the truck between him and that other mech. Like he's pretty close to flee mode.
I think
Casper since the moment that we showed up here, and I just regret not jumping in that mech every moment that I've had the opportunity
to. Yeah, I mean, right now would be the perfect opportunity to start because I mean you're on the trailer or on the semi that has the mech.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, well,
I will do that, but I do also have Vala, but so I will grab the headset for Vala and deploy her, but then I'm going to head out and jump in Casper.
Sick. What are the rest of you guys doing and feeling?
My character is always has spent a lot of time in the desert and has seen a lot of weird things, and this is certainly the weirdest, but is like my character apparently whenever something grotesque and horrible is like, we should kill it and then we can deal with all the stress later. Like it doesn't really matter. Like it can be as weird as it needs to be. We should still kill it first and then we can freak out. So I do draw my sniper rifle out and take a shot.
Sick. So we'll deal with the results of that shot here in just a second. So Marin is freaking out. Ari has exited the driver's seat of the semi and is making his way to the mech seat. What is not Jarlaxle, Praxel? What is
It is
Praxel
it is
doing?
Praxel Jarlaxle. I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, yeah, that's her last name. I think Praxel, again, she's not necessarily used to straight combat like this. Like, she is more about setting traps and catching people off guard. And so for her to be off guard by something that is so seriously outclassing her, I think, like, is there a way I can roll to, like, try and figure out how this thing is working, or if she has any insight into this black sludge? Because she's just trying to look for an in. I do have, like, a big move I can do, but I feel like she would try and understand what's happening before she makes her big move.
So I guess the biggest insight you have is the slime smells fuely.
Hey, that's a decent insight. All right. In that case, I think she'll just go for her biggest move, just to see if this helps. One of her synapses is Terrakinesis, manipulating up to a 10-foot cube per level of Earth around you. So basically what she's going to do is, as this thing moves forward, if it is taking distinct steps, then she's going to try and wrong foot it, just like as it steps down and, like, shifts its weight onto one foot, she's just going to try and move that block of earth off to one side and see if she can trip it, basically.
Got you. So what I did was just try to save against it. I got a 29 under a 35. So it's almost like maybe the slime knows what the earth will do.
Okay.
Right, like you I guess maybe you're making even more connections at that point with some of the sentience of the planet as well. Everybody. So Parrish, you're gonna take a round to get into the mech and get interfaced, right? Everybody else go ahead and so Tony and Steven, you guys go ahead and go, and then we'll roll initiative.
I had that shot that was holding on.
Okay.
It was a success.
Sick.
Which
it does one mega damage.
Is it 1 mega damage or 1d10 mega damage?
I think that one's like.
I mean, I would assume it's a mega damage.
I think it's a single for the.
Yeah, because it's because a mega damage is equal to 100 regular damage, and my weapon's a strong normal weapon. Like.
Yeah. So and then it also does. There's like a 50% chance on that one that it does more damage. Correct?
No, that's on the. I think that's on the big boy, which I should probably go down into the cab and get the big boy.
I see. Yeah, you're not using the heavy sniper.
No,
this
is my driving around. I want to keep the animals away. Sniper rifle, not my. Oh, I thought there was going to be a giant slime controlled mech ahead weapon.
But you actually you actually knock a decent sized hole into this like slime, right? But then it reforms and pulls back the arm or the leg that you start. Like, it looks like it's starting to like lose its balance for a second, and then it fucking reforms and comes back up.
My only thought is, like, if I shoot this thing now, it may give us an extra second to do something. That's the only instinct.
Yeah.
Sick.
I think Praxel is going to actually head towards Ari. The fact that Ari saved her in our last interaction, I kind of like the idea that they're buddies. Like, that if he's looking out for her, then she's going to kind of try and help him out too. And so as he's trying to get the mech up and running, I think she comes to tell him, like, listen, I think if we are able to get the armor off and get it exposed enough, we might be able to light it up. It smells like gasoline or psychosine or something. So I feel like if you can get that armor off, then hopefully the others can get some some explosive or something in there.
Copy that.
So Steven, what do you do in this moment?
So this mech that's coming at us, does it look like it has does it have weapons on it or projectiles or anything like
No,
that?
just legs in the body.
Just legs in the body. Okay. So
Yeah, you see the arms and the weapons. You see them nearby, right? But right now it's just legs.
oh, okay. So but is it moving towards its weapons?
You still see puddles of black sludge underneath of all of the parts of it.
Cool. And the landscape.
So it's not
around
necessarily
here-
done reforming.
Yeah. We drove up to a scene where there were a couple trucks, lots of bodies strewn around. Are there buildings in this area? Like, what is the physical
So
description?
my fault. So it's just so you have the two trucks on the road, right, facing opposite directions, one coming, one going. All of the doors, bodies strewn around. All the doors are open, bodies strewn around, right? Beyond that is what looks like what is essentially like an oil field, like with a bunch of like oil rigs pumping. But all of those are not moving. Everything is the fence is like covered in black webbing or black sludge, and all of the fucking the pumps are gummed up with this black sludge. Then, like I said, not moving at all.
Well, seeing as the only cover itself seems to be our vehicle, I'm gonna put our truck between Marin and this mech that is coming for us. I'm gonna draw my pistol and I'm gonna wait to see what the rest of the party does.
Sick. So by this time, I think Parrish would be booted into to Casper. Right, like you lose all sense of your extremities and everything like that, and you only feel the mech's arms and legs. They feel as though they are your arms and legs. Let's fucking go. What do you do?
So I think as long as we're at a distance, I want to unload some missiles on it.
Hell yeah. So let's roll initiative before we completely fuck up, so everybody speed. For you, Steven, or for Parrish, add your mech piloting to your mech's speed for your initiative.
Okay.
And the Blood Machine soundtrack is what I'm playing right now. If anybody is looking for something cool to listen to. So who's going first?
I just shoot again, so I mean, I'm happy to.
I have a bad idea.
Like it.
I think so. Praxel has the ability to bend metal, and if her thought is this mech suit is going to keep them from actually hurting this weird sludge that might be flammable underneath, she keeps an eye on the mech to try and see if there's a good place or somewhere, and a way that she could teleport onto the mech, so she could maybe barehanded start using her psychic powers to peel off the metal and just create a hole in the armor. What's that?
To be in proximity to do that?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me double check.
If it's the pattern, the at will, you have to be touching.
Yeah.
So you teleport. So this is your last synapse, right, for the day, or is this your first one?
This is my first one.
All right, so you.
Or no. This is
your
my second one. Yeah.
This is your last one for the day, right? Anything beyond
Yeah.
this? So you get over there and you start tearing at the metal, right? You get a small hole open, right? And you look in and you can see that there's a person in the body of this Messina clan thing. They're completely just like enveloped in this like black sludge and shit like that. But you get over there. That's your turn. Who else is going before the mech?
I shot and missed.
So you shot. So you failed your combat roll.
Correct.
Yeah. So the bullet gets the casing gets lodged in the chamber, right? And you're gonna have to get that out next round. Steven, are you before or after?
I'm before. So I'm going to duck underneath the trailer of our truck so that I can see the thing approaching, and watch to see if there's an opening between it and one of the other trucks. Like I want a clear line to be able to make a beeline for one of those other trucks in the future.
So I mean, you can do that now, right? Like you did. So if you wanna start making a position to get like behind it or.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm gonna run for one of those other trucks then and see if I can't jump in the cab.
Sick. So you get over there. There's like one of your. You see Rooker dead, eyes completely gouged out, black stuff like coming out of his mouth. Give me a sanity roll as you jump into the cab of the other truck.
Okay, that's not bad. That's Oh, it's still a fail. 32.
Yeah. So you take an additional. And guys, we're getting close to where I think is like probably a good like area to stop and finish up. So some of this, I think we should kind of handle with like a little bit of narrativeness, right? And maybe a little bit faster than or faster and heavier handed with some of the punishments that come along with this session like this. So I'm gonna you take 3 again. These D10s are loving you. I'm gonna make my own that don't roll 3s. So you take another 3 stress and make a panic check.
Awesome. I like this.
So we all take a stress.
Yeah, I think so. No, he has to see if whether or not he panics or not.
Okay, so my stress is currently at 14, and I rolled a 14.
Okay, so you panic. So roll 2d10 and add your stress and tell me the results.
44.
For nothing.
No, 2d. So 2d10 plus your stress. So that you should have 44.
Yeah, 27.
27.
So for anybody who's not familiar with mothership rules, lots of times you roll a 2d10, but there are actually like 3 different ways you do it. You roll a percentile, you roll 2d10, and you take the direct result, or you roll 2d10 and you multiply by 100 or by 10 or by other things to do different things.
So you are now broken. Your stress can no longer be relieved below 5, right? So you're still okay though. You're not dead, right?
My mind has been shattered.
Definitely freaking the fuck out at this point. Parrish, Ari, inside the mech, completely in her face, standing toe to toe with this thing. You can see that the rest of the parts are starting to slide over to the mech so that it can like reform. What do you do?
Can did I see the person inside?
No, I think you just see Praxil on the hull of this thing, like pulling pieces off of it.
Okay, so Praxil's still on it.
Yes.
Then we're gonna drop the plan to light it up and use the electrified mech control whips.
Oh hell yeah! All right. So give me a combat roll with your make sure you add your mech piloting to the
Okay.
roll. let's make it an advantage, but because this is not exactly the your expected kind of mech, we'll see something else.
It's not a crit, but it's a pass.
So you successfully grab hold of this mech, right? With these whips. You send these charges of electricity through. The mech collapses. Your whips still inside of the black sludge, right? You see the black sludge start to creep up the side the mechs. Your mind starts to the signals that are coming into the mech start to flash and start to blink on and off, right? You're starting to lose the complete control of the mech altogether. Something is corrupting the mech itself. Give me a sanity roll as you try to resist the corruption of this black slime as it crawls up the whip.
Yeah, I passed that one.
6. So you're able to what do you do to shed it off?
Can I pull out? Can I pull out of the mech?
Do
Can I de-think?
yeah, so you can pull you
Pull my
pull
head.
connections, like the plug out of the back of your neck, right? And you desync, right? It definitely fucking hurts, and your mind for a second is scrambled. You take 1 stress and give me a panic roll as you deal with the stress from pulling off the
Oh, panic roll is
2d10.
not 100, right?
Yeah, it's 2d10, and you're trying to not roll under your.
And you said I take 1 stress?
Yep.
Okay. So my stress is only 8. And I rolled a 8.
So you panic, roll 2d10, and add your stress, and tell me the result.
And add. Did you say add 2 stress?
No, add your stress to roll 2d10, add the stress, and tell me the result.
18.
18. Suspicion. Your party members now seem suspicious.
Yep.
All right. So you were able to disassemble this mech with that blow, right, and able to shake off the issues that came with it, right?
But it was probably Praxel's fault.
Definitely Praxel's fault. So let's go ahead and make our way out of here, guys. You now know what happened to your missing crewmates, right? You destroyed this mech that was starting to reassemble right before it was able to really do some damage and wreak havoc on you guys, right? You come home, you head home, you start heading home slightly successful. You have a tanker full of psychocene, right? You have bad news to deliver, right? And maybe nobody will believe you. But you have some sort of closure for yourselves, at least, right? It wasn't the Thousand Shadows, right? It wasn't any kind of rival clan. It was absolutely some kind of weird force of nature that's starting to make its way across the Thousand Desert. You all make your way back to Sandy Springs, right? And before you even get there, you can see smoke on the horizon. You pull up and through Sand Springs, and the whole entire place is completely destroyed. Especially the last stop in where you left Tamil. Having to push through, you make your way back into the city, or the edge of the city of Oaza, right? And you start hearing on the radio and watching these news reports on TV, right? Of this absolutely massive bone and sludge monster wreaking havoc through the other side of the city. you look at one of the reports and they zoom in on it. This shaky camera zooms in on the center of this, and you can see in extreme clarity Tamil's body as part of this giant flesh and bone and sludge monster as it wreaks havoc on the city. A couple days go by. Tony's wound doesn't.
I was going to say, and that's exactly when the appendage erupts from my back.
Striv's wound does not get any better. And while you guys are watching this apocalyptic event happen to your home city, right? And a black appendage erupts from Striz's rib cage, and then another one, and another, and another.
And we fade to black. Yay! Some of us survived. Maybe. Awesome.
I mean, you guys pretty much all did, right? For time's sake, if I would have had another hour, you guys would be dead as hell.
No, that's excellent. That's excellent. No, I had a blast. It was a great moment to die. Let's do, we do a thing here on +1, pardon me, called Reaction Roll. So Reaction Roll is a live stream within a live stream. It's our chance to sit down with the creator of a game or a setting or a module right after we have played with it, and talk to them about what we thought about it. Today, we are talking about Gordinaak. No, I'm always going to do it. Gordinaak. I always want to mix the O and the R. I'm going to start it again so that I can just clip this more easily. This is a live stream within a live stream. It's called Reaction Roll, where we sit down right after we played a game or a setting with the creator and talk to them about what our thoughts on it were. Today we played Gordinaak from Gordinaak Games with the creator, Jeremy, and we are super excited now to talk just about what we thought about it, what stood out at us. Lots of times we talk specifically about what we thought about the system. We played this in Mothership RPG, so if you guys have thoughts about Mothership, that's great, but Jeremy didn't write Mothership. He used it for this. He took what we talked about as vanilla Mothership, which Mothership is an intense, stressful, insane RPG that's in the kind of vein of the Aliens films and other dark sci-fi horror. And then he put it all on a planet and gave it mechs and gangsters and turned it into gasoline-flavored Mothership RPG. So I'm super excited to hear what everybody else thought. But Jeremy, before we do that, just tell everybody a little bit about, what was some of your impetus for the game? Why did you create it? And then where can people find more information about it right now?
So I guess the main reason I made it was because I was trying to shoehorn other species and stuff like that for other systems into these classes in this world that I wanted, and it didn't really fit. And then also I was starting to get a disdain for anthropomorphic animals that are just people, but that a lizard person or a tiger person, right? So I started wanting to see some more interesting species and stuff like that, and that's kind of what made me want to create the system around the classes and the species and stuff like that. The big thing is I wanted to I made a setting a long time ago that was really convoluted. It was a western, it was post-apocalyptic, it was cyberpunk, and Gordinaak is still all of that, right? But I just don't describe it to people like that anymore, right? But it's still all of that, and you can probably kind of feel some of that even without even really thinking about it too hard. It probably doesn't have to. It's probably not too far away from your reach to get to any of those places, right?
Yeah. And it's going to be live on Kickstarter as part of Zine Quest, right? So it's coming up soon.
Yeah, I'm really breaking the rules of Zine Quest this year.
Rules in Zine Quest are guidelines. It's fine.
I'm doing an A4 sized book, so it's the regular paper. So it's a big boy book. I don't know if you can tell from the PDF, but there's a lot of information on each one of these pages, right? So they're big boy pages. going live February 1st to ride the coattails of Zine Quests, and definitely try to get in there and be seen amongst everything that's going on.
That's awesome. I'm excited about that. A big part of what we do here, and if you are watching live right now and you have a question about this setting, about any of the inspiration, about anything else, or just thoughts, go ahead and drop them in the chat, whether you're watching on YouTube now or later, or whether you're watching with us now live right on Twitch. But let's move around and hear who our different players were this evening, where you can find them online, and then what their questions for you might be, Jeremy, or their thoughts about the setting. Let's start with you, Stephen. Stephen, tell people who you are, where you're from, and where they can find you online.
Yeah, of course. My name is Stephen Rosia. I'm an artist, writer, storyteller. You can find me online at Stephen Rosia on Twitter. I also stream role-playing games and video games on the Hive Stream channel on Twitch and YouTube, so you can find out more about that. Yeah, do you just want me to jump into...
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, what were your thoughts about it? If you have any questions, hit Jeremy up.
Yeah. Do you mind if I make some comments on the actual module? I'm really digging, like, just going through and reading and looking at this. So, firstly, I was very impressed with your character creation. This is an incredibly easy game just to jump into and to play. Speaking as somebody who came to the table and made something in the 10-15 minutes as we were chit-chatting and starting to go live, this is such an easy game for you to grab anybody, anywhere, and say, hey, grab a piece of paper, let's play this thing. It doesn't take a lot of pre-planning and that sort, or even, say, experience with RPGs. Like, this would be a really interesting first experience for an RPG person. And just speaking to my background, the art in this is wonderful and evocative. The artistry is all in black and white. There's a wonderful cross hatching. The character art is really great. Yeah, I keep going back to the cross hatching. Huge kudos to the people that you got to work on this with you.
Yeah, shout out to Anto Artunian, Seriously Ugly on Instagram. Yeah, he did most of the art. Ricardo Alves did some of the original character design. Rock Alves, I think, on Instagram. And then I had one more guy, Andrew Bach, on that city drawing. But yeah, I had one person. I think a lot of the reason why it's so uniform is because it's all the same person, right? Like,
yeah, it definitely builds a mood. Like, from the game to looking at the module, they translate one-to-one. Like, I understand exactly how I was supposed to feel or how things were supposed to look, and it matches exactly what the art is.
Yeah. I went ahead and popped it up on the screen. I'm going to give it a quick scroll through so that everybody can get a sense of
yeah,
what
give
that
her a
looks
go.
like.
That page 5 is particularly excellent. Yeah, and the monster. I'm a big fan of monster designs. I love that oily mutation sort of monster. I would have loved to have seen the whole scope of what that is.
Well, so actually, I kind of changed. This is the adventure that we ran tonight is the adventure from the end of the book, right? That I told you guys to stay away from ahead of time. But I actually went ahead and changed it just in case you had looked a little, taken a peek or something like that. And I actually kind of had like an idea. I really wanted. That was kind of my thing that I was really excited about. Tonight that I wanted to get to is I wanted to really like get that fucking end mech like assembled and really dealing carnage and damage and stuff like that, but we didn't quite get there. But that's actually an old friend of mine kind of gave me that like advice from like day one, is like everybody wants to, it's cool to show everybody the character classes and stuff like that, but nobody gives a shit. They want to see the monsters. What are the monsters like? What are the things that you fight? Like what is that shit?
Yeah. At the end of it, like this game makes me want to play more Mothership, and I think that's a win.
I definitely really support that move. Like I said, Sean's a good homie, right? I just sent I just sent that motherfucker some dice. You're welcome if you're out there. And I've been talking to him forever about it, right? He's probably actually been tired of talking to me about it and wanting me to get it just done and finished and out there, as most of my friends are. A lot of people, including myself, were ready for it to be done and finished. But I've ran a lot of Mothership. If I'm not like super pumping my YouTube channel at all because I don't really care for any of my own content that I've made for streaming. But if you look, I think I have one of like the first streamed games of Mothership. I've been Team Mothership for a minute. I mod over there on the Discord. Like, so outside of this, if you ever have any questions on regular Mothership, what kind of house rules to use, what kind of links and stuff to go check out, I got you on that too if you want to check. Also, come hang out on the Discord too. I've been meaning to get back more active over there. So
Yeah, I'll take you up on that. That sounds like a blast.
Awesome. Steven, thanks so much. Cal, what were your thoughts? Tell people where they can find you on the internet also too.
Yeah, I'm Cowshea, Cowshea, at Cowshea on most things where people are found. I had a blast. I've never played Mothership before, and so I checked out that a little bit when I heard that I might be able to play tonight, and then just playing this version of it, this setting was really fun. It feels really unique, you know, like there's obvious like fun influences that I like the Mad Max thing is pretty strong, but introducing the idea of like cosmic and or body horror into a Mad Max setting feels really new and fun in a way that like I really, really enjoyed. I think there's a lot of I think the variation in the way that things can go wrong, like either physically or psychically or magically or, you know, just emotionally. Like I like just the idea of sometimes it's just too hard and gross and you flip out, and like that's just that's built into the game. I really enjoy. Yeah, I really had a great time overall playing it, and I think you did a great job. I can't think of anything. Yeah, I feel like Steven, my big takeaway is like, oh man, I wish I could play this more. Like I wish, you know, that either we could do a follow-up one shot or, you know, keep this going, because it feels like there's just a lot there to be able to play around with. And so, yeah, I had a blast.
Yeah, love it. Parrish, tell people where to find you, and then what your thoughts are. If you have any questions for Jeremy, go ahead and hit them.
Sure. Again, you can find me best if you go to my website. I'm the designer of Age of Exploration, and the website for that is explorealtera.com. All of my socials are linked there, and you can reach out to me there. So you can get to me on Facebook or Discord or whatever is comfortable for you. Jeremy, I'm glad that you named it Gordinaak, because to me, Gordinaak is the most compelling component. Like, I know we only get a little bit of a taste of it, but every time you were like, yeah, Gordinaak reaches out to you, I'm like, yeah, give me that shit. Like, the cow's totally right. Like, cosmic horror, like Lovecraftian, setting it in steampunk has been done a lot, and setting it in a space western is not something that I've seen, and so it's very unique just because of that. I loved being the mech pilot. I was so here for that, and like getting to build the mech, and I was totally prepped to play a different type of game, and then when I read your module, I was like, oh, we're doing something different, but I'm still down to be the pilot, and I still just loved playing that role from start to beginning. So in terms of fulfilling the fantasy, you got there. And I think that that's really critical when you're designing an RPG experience, is that you deliver the fantasy that you're promising. And so success. In my research for prepping for this, I saw that you started making this before you knew that it was going to be a mothership mod. Like, I saw some of your posts on, I think, Reddit / RPG design, maybe.
Wow, geez, digging them up.
Yeah, a couple years ago. But because I'm on there, and so you were at this time maybe still thinking about making your own system. And so my first question is, like, at what point in your design process did you decide to jump ship from your own your own thing to Mothership, and what made you make that decision? And then second, I want to know, you said that you were bored of just anthropomorphic races, and I feel you there. And so I'm going to give you the simultaneous challenge. So what makes Deseti more than just lizard people? Because I want to know all about your setting. It's great.
So I'll start with the Deseti question, because that's my favorite one, right? Is they are literally just Komodo dragons, right? Like, you can go and look for like a picture of a Komodo dragon standing on two legs right now, and it's the same picture. Is that it's the same exact thing. I think Anto elongated the front arms a little bit, right, to make them. There's also, like, and of course, like, I don't know like how much world building any of the viewers or any of you guys do, but you'll learn that, like, world building is mostly masturbatory, right? You do it for yourself, right? And then you can present a small portion of that to your friends and viewership, right? So there's all kinds of shit with this Eddie, because it's like, I really so I have like some concept art too of them, like, in like headdresses and shit like that, and like beaded ornamentation and shit. And like they like, for instance, they would only stand like that in that one picture, right, if they respected you, right? They would only stand like that to meet you eye to eye if they were if they thought highly of you.
So they're
right?
primarily.
So your idea is they're not like bipedal normally. They are crawling around like a lizard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
All the time, right? Like, because if you look at the other art, right, the only time that they're standing is to show you the comparison of heights but if any of the other situations, they're either like crawled up or on all fours, right?
I also, having played one, it didn't feel like I was playing a D&D lizard folk. It felt like I was like, I mean, nothing about their description implies that they're that kind of tropey concept, and I actually loved that about them, and that's one of the reasons I gravitated towards that race.
And then, like, so the one of the other questions was, whenever I decided to jump ship from, so I didn't really ever want to make my own system. That is one thing that's, like, I never really wanted to make my own. I started with Ultramodern 5e. I then moved to Lamentations of the Flame Princess, but all of that is still is essentially kind of building your own system. It's just kind of doing it around the framework, and that's what I've done here, right? But what was happening was, like, I wasn't getting the games and stuff. Like, I still have the Lamentations hack, right? It's still a game. You can play it right now, right? You could have fun with it. I've had a lot of fun with it. It just wasn't really doing like the D20 based systems are a little bit limiting, right? And I think the D100 is a little bit more versatile. And that stress mechanic is really what the stress mechanic of Mothership is really what grabbed me, right? Like I read it, well, initially 6d10 straight down the line, right? And order was what first grabbed me, and then the stress system. And then I ran it a bunch of times, right? And the horror genre is kind of hard to even nail down, right? So I ran it wrong a few times, and then I ran it right a whole bunch more times, and but I like I said, I almost immediately I threw my Lamentations version in the trash and started over. It was a really hard decision, and also I'm always looking for any kind of reason not to be finished with the thing that I'm working on. So it was kind of it was kind of like a one of those situations where me procrastinating actually worked. Taking 3 years actually worked out really well. I got all my art from all of the art direction is really good. My graphic design is like leaps and bounds better than it was 3 years ago. Like as you can, this is one of those things where like I get to legitimately be really proud of the design and the information delivery and stuff like that, because I did all of that, every bit of that. I didn't do any of the art, but I did every bit of the layout.
Well, that's Mothership is a layout intensive. Like if you want to do Mothership justice, right? If you're going to use that as your system, you've got to pick up some solid layout skills. Like it is a game that you're packing so much in, and I think going actually to an A4 is a really sharp move. Like giving yourself a little bit more space to present the information. Because one of the things that I hate about Mothership as a system is the information design is phenomenal and teeny tiny itty bitty because they've crammed it all onto a half sheet of paper. So like seeing it.
I actually have an almost fully laid out version of this that's in A5 as well.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, and don't mark my words because I already have another book plan that's going to be A5. But I'm gonna try not to do anything A5 mostly, like unless I have to, right? Like I have. There's another. Like if I get hired on a freelance job for layout, I'll do A5. Like if you pay me.
You got to pay me extra. Chat wants to know specifically. Scott Hero 170 wants to know what is the part of Gordinaak that you like the most? Like what part of your own setting are you most enthralled with?
I think my favorite part of the setting is that it's the Mancer or the mechs. I can't really. That's a really hard battle for me. Like the mechs are really, really good, but I think they kind of play like a second fiddle to the characters themselves, right? Like, I think that the Mancer is just like it's all of my favorite parts about spell casting, and none of the things I don't like about spell casting. Right, like it's not fiddly, it's not hard. Like you just look at the instructions and do it. Right, you don't have to like learn how to do like algebra 3.
And then Scott also wants to know you to tell us what the name was before. This is Gordinaak. Then he also says, "Don't tell us because it'll ruin the darkness." You can tell us after we hit end on the stream. You can tell us, but no one else. No one else
and
gets
actually,
to know.
I do have for Steven, Parrish, and Cal. Tony's already seen it, but I do have a treat for you guys after the stream ends. If you guys want to check it out,
we're gonna watch the trailer afterwards. It's not the high res perfect version is not done yet. But
I was gonna let it debut tonight, but I don't think the world is ready yet.
But even the soundscaping and the work on the low res version totally sell the game. It's phenomenal. I can't wait for you guys to see it on the Kickstarter when it comes up. I think for me, I loved it. I had a blast. I love the dark system. I love that my character was going to have something horrible happen to him from the get go, and just knowing that and being at full health the whole time and being like, well, I'm screwed. Like I'm going to mutate, or which could like mutations could work out fine, right? Like, but like there's this thing that's weighing over me. It's like, well, from that point, whatever. But I think one of my favorite things about it, and this is true in Mothership, but I think your setting lends itself to it more, is that as you try to deal with a problem, if you come back to trying to deal with that problem too many times, you're automatically indicating that you as a player are stressed about that. And therefore that causes your character to engage in the stress mechanic. And I think those types of meta mechanics, and you'll probably hear me talk about this on my review when we drop it, are absolutely one of my favorite things in the game. That when the player dictates something by their behavior, that forces something to happen in the game. And so when we're like all thinking about my wound, all of a sudden it's like, well, that's causing everyone's stress. Go ahead and make some rolls around that. I love that. I think my big
suggest adding that to any of your horror games, right?
Yeah,
like if you're playing Call of Cthulhu, Delta Green, playing Mothership, right? Any of if it has a sanity or stress mechanic, if somebody mentions it, right? And I've had this go both ways, Tony. I've had this go like I've visibly seen people like feel like, because you can kind of tell when people feel like stuff isn't fair, right? When you're GMing a game, right? And not all the time people will say something, right? But you can kind of tell when they feel that way, especially when you can see them, right? And I've seen people feel like it's not super fair for me to be like calling for these roles, and it's like, dude, you are the conscious and the thought process behind your character. You are your character's brain. So if you're sitting there worrying about it, why wouldn't
they, right? Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
No,
they'd be worrying about it 10 times more.
I thought you handled it phenomenally. And the thing is, like, as a player, I wasn't like, and I could have let it drop, but it was too much fun. It was like knowing that like 15 or 20 minutes into actual play, my character had this thing stuck into his body, and that was going to be problematic. Was actually, like, for me, it was super relieving, but it was just really funny to have not only me but everybody else be kind of worried about it. And it's like, yeah, he would just want the wound taken care of. He's not actually that stressed by it, but like it is a thing. And so it was great. I think the other question for me would be like, and Mothership doesn't necessarily lend itself to like extended campaign play unless you adopt a party management mindset. Like you really have to adopt we're taking a group of people of whom I may play multiple over the course of a campaign through this process to save whatever, because people are going to die. In a thing where the entire, but in the thing about Mothership is you're traveling all over the world, right? For this setting specifically, you're on the planet, and the planet is alive, and the planet is part of what you are interacting with. And we're a one shot, so maybe the city doesn't get destroyed like if you're doing a campaign initially in Giant. Like, but tell me a little bit about what your thoughts are, or what your advice would be people who want to maybe do a Gordinaak campaign. What would be your advice on that?
So I can only kind of speak to my experience with running Gordinaak in a campaign setting. I did a West Marches that had probably like I think it lasted like 2 or 3 months, right? Weekly, but it was kind of like a drop in, drop out thing. And I think a lot of the big thing is that you dial back the horror, right? You don't have every single session something that is like mind meltingly, right? Like you don't have something every session that they don't understand or have never seen or something like that, right? It takes away, it kills the exoticness of the horror anyway, right? You make it more about the intrigue first off. That's the big thing, because we kind of touched on it a little bit tonight, right? Lightly, right? And that's why I said this is kind of a quintessential Mothership adventure, right? Because it has the intrigue between the Thousand Shadows and whatever clan you are, right? But it also has a giant monster and mechs, right? But so you dial back the horror, it's pretty much for campaign play. It's a whole different style for me. It's character driven completely. You don't move forward at all until somebody wants to do something, right? You might make some hooks and stuff like that, right? If something gets stagnant, right? But you riff off of the people who are playing. So I think really that's it. It's you riff off the people who are playing and dial back the horror, right? You introduce the stress in a different way, right? The horrors of war, right? This weird kind of feudal society, right? Watching people in your neighborhood struggle while you don't, right? While you benefit off their labor, even, right? It's not so you engage in a different part of the stress, right? Like not something that's gonna melt your mind, but you know, there's different there's different parts of the world that will kill your soul. Though.
Yeah, if you were going to drop
Yeah,
Gordinaak
that's-
into a... Oh, go ahead, Cal.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think that's part of what really works about it. Both, like, I feel like what's in terms of like combining Lovecraft and Alien and Mad Max, like all three of those are about like existential panic about different things, like from reality being destroyed to the world being destroyed to your psyche being destroyed to your body being destroyed. And I feel like this plays with those in a really interesting way. So like obviously like things can go sideways, and apparently the whole planet can like turn inside out and consume your consciousness, but also like I feel like there's plenty to go around where it's like you're just navigating this really tough post-apocalyptic world, and maybe you don't run into a giant city destroying bone sludge monster, but like the potentiality is still there. But there's just the way that the various avenues of distress are available to you is really compelling. I feel like it makes for an interesting game because you can have that low level like cosmic horror while also you're just like dealing with a motorcycle gang. That's a really fun idea.
And you have put in there's a number of clans in the set book. There's even very obvious hooks, and there's some more subtle hooks about how they're being influenced or impacted by some of those existential horror elements, how Gordinaak is influencing different behaviors in different people. There's not necessarily even a suggestion of about what it is trying to achieve, but there's all those little like you called them hook, but in this setting it's really more like tentacles of Gordinaak that have like already reached into different parts of the setting that I feel like could be really rich. And I feel like it could be really rich to drop down into a mothership campaign you already have going on, though. Like I think it's a planet you could run around on forever and just do a Gordinaak campaign. If you want to drop this into a setting, you know, like Dead Planet, some of the Pound of Flesh, any of the other module books that they have, this would do equally well to say, hey, we're going to go here, and we probably don't ever want to go back to Gordinaak necessarily, but the first 2 or 3 times we come, we may not realize there's any sort of issue, and we're just coming because someone on another planet wants some cyclocene, right? Like, and we're just picking it up, and we're running things back and forth, and then eventually, like, the other shoe drops on a run, and I think that is phenomenal that you could play it both of those ways. Jeremy, thank you so much for coming on for running this for us. I've been super excited to just chat with you over the last couple of weeks. If you guys aren't following the work that they're doing at Gordinaak Games online yet, please do. But just again, one more time, Jeremy, tell us when the campaign is probably going live and what's the best way to follow it. I just dropped the link in the chat for people who are watching, but for everybody who's out there watching later.
So yeah, it's going live February 1st to kick off the month of Zine Quest. Like I said, ride those coattails to success. You can find me talking about everything at Gordinaak Games on mostly everything. I have a Discord available. I will make sure that it is easy to get to on my socials. So that we can talk about Gordinaak and what you might want to do with it. Guys, thank you so much. You guys were awesome to play with. Like I would love to come back on, Tony, whenever I'm working on my next project.
We'd love to have you. Yeah.
Whatever is great.
Sure. So let's hear from everybody else. Parrish, tell us where people can find you at one more time.
ExploreAltera.com. I'll drop that in the chat.
Awesome. And then, Cal, where can people find you at?
I'm on Twitter at Cowshay, but my main obsession is on Letterboxd, a website where I obsessively log and talk about every movie that I've ever watched in my entire life.
Okay. Also, I want to point out, Cal will oftentimes make the best Letterboxd. I don't know what they're called. List? Is that what they call them on Letterboxd? They're hyper specific. So it'll be like, I don't remember.
So like, a recent one was 80s movies about parental relationships, where somebody finds a magic creature in the woods, learns mystical powers from it, and also somebody hides inside of a large mammal. And that's a list of The Empire Strikes Back and My Neighbor Totoro.
There you go.
And just those 2 movies. That's it.
And Steven, where can people find you at?
All right. You can find me doing various things at Twitter. Handle is Steven Rosia. Or you can watch me play some Pokemon D&D over on the Hive Stream channel on YouTube. We stream live on Mondays, every second Monday.
Awesome. My name's at Tony Vicinda. You can find me at Tony Vicinda across social media platforms. But you can find us at +1EXP. We are a brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our real hope is to feed into and promote indie RPGs on a regular basis. So if you have a game that you'd like to play but you've never had the chance to learn, we would love to track down a designer or somebody who knows a lot about it and play it with them so that we can review it and teach you how to play also. Or if you're an indie designer and you'd like us to play your game at some point, drop us a line at +1EXP. You can also support the streams we do soon because we just got offered affiliate status, so that's cool. Directly, but go to +1EXP. We have a game out called Beards and Beyond that just went to print. It'll be out in the next couple of weeks. You can order it straight to your house. It is a beard-based RPG, but we also make beard balms and, coming soon, lip balms, lotion bars, and other products that are all inspired by classic tabletop RPG culture. All that's available at +1exp.com. And until next time, we're going to wave delightfully at the camera until I hit end on the stream. And I never have